All right, man. So I'm here with my longtime compadre back in the saddle, John Warren. Good to see you, pal.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been too long. Glad we get together and talk about some passions and shared interest and what have you. So this will be the music unraveled aspect of the podcast. So this will be the third one we've done, and I was just like, I had you on, I have like a top 100 guest list and kind of divided out like different shows I want to do because it's my goal to do 100 podcasts in 2018.
That's a good goal, man.
Yeah.
It's a good goal.
We're at 20, I think 21 was what we were at yesterday. And we've done, like, I do this thing called After the Show where I just review movies and TV shows. I've done 3 of those. And then we've done, I think, 11 Life Unraveleds, 3 Music Unraveleds. I got a History Unraveled I've been recording, just me solo, doing some of my stuff over 1968, and but it's all coming together. 21 episodes, so this will be the 22nd episode.
Man, it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, dude. So what have you been up to, man? Just hanging out? Just, anything new and exciting? How's Corbin doing?
He's good, man. 13-year-old boy.
Dude, what the hell?
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big, strong lad. He worships Elon Musk.
Dude, I have gone so down the Elon Musk rabbit hole.
It's a big rabbit hole.
I know. Oh my God.
We can do an entire podcast.
Really, easily. Honestly, Elon Musk Unraveled.
I'm down.
Hey, we'll have you back.
I'll be here.
We see, you know what? Like, I think that it's important. I'm trying to collaborate with people that are passionate about shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and why I was like, I didn't be like, hey, let's do one on Tool or Puscifer or a Perfect Circle. It's like, when I was hanging out with you years and years ago, you fucking told me about Puscifer. You were the person that told me about that band. And you would never talk about those individual bands. It was always Maynard. You know, and I was like, dude, we'll just do it on Maynard. And you were like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's, I got a couple idols, but he's there.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I've seen, I guess he's done 3 JREs. And I've only seen 2 of those. It just came to damn it.
Yeah.
So I got to watch that middle episode. The oldest one I saw back in Red Band in the Death Squad Studios or whatever. I rewatched that one. That's the first time he was on, and then he was on recently, but he was on in like the 400s episodes. So, great source. I mean, because I think those are some of the best interviews I've seen him do. I mean, you would be more scholarly on consuming his content. I mean, I've just gone down a few YouTube rabbit holes on like Maynard himself, but I've really listened to his music over the years. I promise
that I'm going to touch on that on the way out today. Yes. I'm going to give you some of that content. A nice, good, hard. I'm going to give it to you, bro.
Excellent. We'll throw any links in the description.
Yeah,
I may edit some pictures or video in after the fact. So, Maynard's an interesting cat. I mean, where do you start? He's such a complex individual.
Cinquenta each race. He's 53. What do I got about him? When was he born? Oh, yeah. Ravenna, Ohio, born 1964. April 17th. I'm going to get that little bio.
3 days before my birthday.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm about to turn 31, dude. What the hell?
Dude, what?
How much older are you than me?
I'm just 35. I'm saying I'm putting the just in there to feel better about myself.
Yes, that sounds better. Yes. Yeah. I'm not yet 31. I'm starting to own it already, though.
Turning 30, I get to say this to you. So, it felt like a new beginning, right? Turning 30.
It really did.
It does. I tell everybody that, and they're like, dude, you're just getting old. I'm like, no, it really did. It felt great. It felt like I've got a new chance at life. I got a second chance. A lot of bad things were happening at that point in my life, so it's a chance to start over, Since I've seen you, I almost died. Went through a lot of pulmonary hypertension and horrible stuff like that, and gained a lot of weight, went through a lot of horrible stuff. I've lost 130 pounds.
Congrats, dude.
I feel great.
That's awesome.
I've had surgery. I feel great, but the world's crazy. But we'll get back.
You're on your comeback. It's crazy how just like you can look at something and be like, the next 10, the
next 10 years.
I feel like it's easier to make those longer term goals when you hit like that 30 mark. Like everything was like a a 5-year or less goal for me in my 20s.
Right. Yeah.
You know, even till I was 30, and then it was just like, well, I don't know. I just started thinking in larger increments, and now I'm thinking in even larger increments.
Yeah.
But
my dad always said, and I'll put a shout out to him real quick. He always said, he was a wise man. He said, a man doesn't have a lick of sense until he's 30. And I never knew what that meant. And I lost him when I was 29. And I think I finally know what it means. It means that you don't have a sense of your own mortality. But you get 30 and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God.
Things for you. And
you're going to die. And all of a sudden you got to start enjoying your life. You got to make changes because you know your life is short. And you better start enjoying things now. You better start being thankful and grateful for your circle, the ones you love, your perfect circle, the ones you care about. So
yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, the older I get, and I saw someone make like a Facebook status yesterday, and they were they said something about to the effect that like their life was half over or something like that. And I used to think in those terms, but then like somebody told me once, they're like, hey, think about it differently. Like bump your life expectancy up a little bit. And you know, it's like, cause he was like, I'm going to live to be like well over 100 due to my lifestyle choices, et cetera, or whatever. Like, and he's like, so I'm just going to focus on that instead of like, cause like it's almost like glass half empty when you're like, oh, my life's a third of the way over. Cause theoretically, based on life expectancies, mine kind of is, you know, but I'm trying not to think that way, you know. So anyway,
middle age didn't start till you're 45. So
yes, I mean
we're just adults now.
We'll do a midlife crisis episode.
Be
like episode 1527.
Yeah. Well, you know, age is just a number. 40 is the new 30.
Somebody, I think Rob said that yesterday.
50 is the new 40. 60 is the new 50.
Yeah, you know.
70 is the new 60. But 80 still 80.
Nice. You know, real quick segue. So I've been propagating this myth. So apparently some people in the upper echelons of society, like a Maynard, but not Maynard, we'll say, which is crazy. Maynard is like 4 years younger than my dad. He's born in 64. So, but like Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones, apparently rumored has a blood bitch.
Oh my God.
Do you know what a blood bitch is?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
You think, I mean, look at me, man. Of course I do.
Yes. But he's just like gets these super athletic, like 20-year-old blonde hair, blue eyed, like they're on this perfect diet, and they give transfusions to him. Yeah. So he can stay young and vibrant and do heroin and stuff like that. Allegedly. I have no idea. I'm just repeating what I've heard.
No, I love this.
Yeah.
Because I was just about to say, well, you know, that dude's a vampire.
Yes.
But now you're telling me this, and I'm just getting these visions of like the underworld, you know, when he just comes floating down with all the tubes hanging from him.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. I love it. I hope he just has like this giant vat of delicious blood that he's just laying in. And then, like, I can just see him sitting there with, like, a blood jelly steak at night.
Got to get that blood, man. It's keeping me young.
It's delicious.
That is, like, I've heard that. Good. And have you heard also about these occult sort of groups that do these, like, I know you've seen, like you have, like, a girl laying there and, like, guys are eating sushi off of her.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's a term for it. But, like, imagine someone laying in a tub of blood. And people are like, and maybe it's not actual blood, maybe it is, I don't know. But there's a picture out there also, allegedly, of Lady Gaga, like, doing a little, you know, like dipping her finger in it, and it's totally wild. Totally wild. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah. I got to see this. That's
yeah,
amazing.
I mean, I show it to people periodically. I don't know where I heard about it, or but I think it's called like spirit cooking.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've been so is how into Zeppelin is Maynard? Was that an influence?
Now,
for him?
see, I was thinking more about, you know, when you said Lady Gaga, because she used to be in a Zeppelin cover band, because that's where my head was going with that. But
Zeppelin and the Occult, there's some crazy.
Oh my
Aleister
God.
Crowley. I want to do a whole spot on that. I keep talking about it.
Yeah, you can play their music backwards, and it's hilarious. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
Oh wow, yeah. I know.
We can get into that.
I gotta, if you do have any vinyl, do you have to do it on vinyl?
I don't have it on vinyl, but you can. There are TED Talks about backwards.
I'll check that out.
Zeppelin.
I was just watching a TED Talk on Elon Musk.
That can go. We can go. Like I said, let's not even touch it.
Okay, here we go. Come on, no Chromecast discovered. Don't do this to me. Okay, I'm just gonna show it to you on my phone if we don't get our stuff together. Right there, bro. Oh wait, is it coming up?
I love that so much. Let's see it.
Is it coming up?
Oh, come on.
We got the Chromecast.
I got to see this on a big screen.
Oh,
Spirit cooking,
bro. Lady Gaga.
I believe it. This looks like I've seen the sushi all over the place, man. I'm in a rock band. Are you kidding me? I've seen this, but
yeah. So this is just wild, dude. I don't know. For whatever reason, it's not wanting to show this image, but maybe I can do this.
We need a digital bitch in here is what we need.
See, I know I need a producer. Yeah. I really do, because the editing after the fact sucks. It's not horrible, but I just don't want to go extravagant. The podcast would be so much more visually stimulating, but on the audio side, I almost audio is so easy to do, and I get just as many listens on my audio.
Oh yeah,
outlets
absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
So, but it's not coming up. But Lady Gaga.
I saw it, though. Yeah. I saw it, dude. That's
super freaky. Check it out on the interwebs.
Oh, man. I'm going to be looking that up.
So,
that's outstanding.
Let's dig a little bit into... so, Maynard is not even his real name. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something he took? Isn't Maynard like a character created, but his real name is...
Well, I mean, I'm going to stick with that. But...
Yeah. I can't remember. I was reading something about it. Like he at some point started using Maynard. Like is it like a young? At a young name. I mean, he was in the army and everything else. Yeah, dude. He actually was. I read a lot about his early life. Before the podcast, but he went to West Point for 1 year,
correct,
and they're like, "Hey, you want to keep doing this?" And he's like, "No, you won't tolerate my dissidence." But he was in the Glee Club and ran cross country at West Point, and
That's true. Yeah.
Even I don't know, not basic training, maybe it's just basic advanced training, but it seemed to be like they were talking about almost like special forces level training. He even excelled in that. So anything this dude has touched,
he excels.
But he has a crazy backstory with his stepdad and his mom having an aneurysm when he was a kid.
Yeah, Christian Science. They didn't believe in medicine. So they just, pray the illness away. So his mom, Judith Marie, she lays there 10,000 days. So that rings some bells from Tool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, beautiful song. And she lays there, ill, 10,000 days. Eventually dies because God didn't save her. So then comes a Perfect Circle. You hear the song Judith, where he's cursing God. 10,000 Days comes out with Tool. It's a lot of people believe it's him making his peace with God afterwards. I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. You will never know the truth with him. He's an enigma. That's why I've always followed Maynard, always, because I love the mystery, personally.
I saw a Tool in concert last year.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't even see Maynard. But
no, you don't.
He wasn't there.
No, he's not. I don't think he was there. He just piped.
So it was a hologram in the right gear. The Prince hologram.
The Prince hologram. Dude, that's weird. I was just about to say the Prince hologram. What, dude? I was just about to.
I was thinking about some Prince on the way over here. So you guys used to cover a Prince
When
song.
Doves Cry and Darling Nikki.
Yeah. Did you guys ever do Purple Rain?
No, I didn't do Purple Rain, man. That song, it makes me cry.
Yeah, but I remember you guys doing When Doves Cry for sure.
Yeah, dude, I love When Doves Cry. That was our baby. 100 years ago.
Yeah. So, are you guys still playing?
Man, it's just come down to me and Kyle Southall.
What's Kyle been up to? I haven't seen that dude in years.
He works his butt off.
Still working at the DC?
Yeah, at the DC. He is still working. He's still the best drummer in the state. He's still got
I have
eight
a
arms.
full drum kit across the hall. Dylan Sparks.
Oh, yeah?
So he was on the podcast, episode 2.
Yeah.
But he and I have been jamming together a little bit, and he's actually was like, he has his drum kit set up like Kyle's drum kit.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kyle is, here's God, the drum God, and here's Kyle. He's that.
I'm insane. He's always been insane.
Yeah, he's it's his gift, and we just kind of made a pact a long time ago that we're connected mentally as far as music goes, and there are about this many bands left in rock music. We know this. Rock is not dead. It's dormant in popular culture. We know this. There's underground, and then we know that rock is taking a big, silent, sleeping dragon nap. And so we've decided to mold our sound. I'm a singer of a band called Effectus, by the way. I'm going to put that out there. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. Kyle Southall and I, and we're the only remaining members, but it's actually turned out absolutely for the better, because it's in this digital age, that's all we need.
It is crazy how much recording you can do. Have you heard any of Jack White's new stuff he just put out?
God,
holy
yes.
shit.
I know. And
maybe that's the evolution.
You have a ladybug on your head.
Dude, this keeps happening.
It's a peaceful
this
thing.
happened on the podcast yesterday. It was on Rob's mic stand. It's actually a Japanese lady.
I was
beetle.
just about to say that.
And my house / studio got infested with those things, and we got it taken care of. But every now and then, there's still one that eluded all the poison spray and everything. But
little geisha running around on your head.
Yeah.
Well, if I have any, tell me. Well, I tell you, no, but it's all we've needed, and our stuff it's new and it's positive. We kind of had the whole nu metal sound back in 2008 when we recorded, and since then we've gone through a lot of guys. We had a new bassist, and we had really put ourselves together, and his name was Scotty Pratt, and he was tragically killed in a car accident on the ice. And since then, we were just like, you know what? Let's just do it ourselves. We keep losing people for different reasons, whether it be to rehab, to ice, and it's just like, let's just do it ourselves.
Did your original bass player move away, Brandon?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So we've just been doing it ourselves, and honestly, no one expects what's coming. It's a sexy album, and when I mean sexy, I mean literally. It's like a male Dark Banks. Like it's really good stuff. It's sensually charged, and I'm excited to put it out. It's a lot poppier and more electronic than I ever expected my music to be. So it's
nice. Are you getting a lot more into that side? Are you using Logic Pro or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. Absolutely. It's a lot of samples. Man. And
man, I like. Are you into any bands that are really like the Floozies, for example, that are really
Dude,
the Floozies are sick. Bro.
Yeah,
they're playing in up at Backwoods Music Festival where they had Walkeroosas.
Mm-hmm. I love the Floozies.
Yeah. So, but their guitar player is super sick, and he's DJing right there on the spot. Mm-hmm. They're a 2-piece with the guitar player and a drummer. I mean, it's
just I knew how to do all the sampling and the electronics, and I've been playing piano since God was a boy. So.
I forget that you did a lot of piano parts and stuff on some of the earlier stuff you guys did.
And with Kyle able to do everything he can percussive, he's turning a lot of his kit into electronic stuff. And man, I'm just so excited to show it to you. It's our first song will be coming out this year that we're going to be putting out. The first single, if a local band can have a single, is going to be called Origami. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to you and showing that off a little bit.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can definitely get more into that when it comes out. So Rob has got an album he's mid-production on right now. Which I'll have when I get that podcast edited.
Rob's great. Yeah,
good dude, really good dude. And I mean, honestly, I've done several podcasts that were an hour or 2 hours, but dude, we went for 3 hours, which, if you have any time constraints, let me know. But we sat down and it was a really excellent excellent conversation to have. We touched on a lot of topics, talked about that school shooting. So, yeah, check that out when you get a chance.
I will listen.
So, yeah, so Maynard has kind of like a rougher upbringing, maybe an abusive stepdad, but this guy he didn't get along with. Ends up moving to Michigan with his real dad, where he wrestles on the high school team. His dad's a coach.
That is correct.
And then West Point, goes to the military, because then he got lured into the GI Bill, right?
That's correct.
And he joked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast. But he's like, yeah, I was an artist. I wanted to be a map maker, and they told me I could. And then they said, "Oh,
oops,
this is full. Sorry, go take." said something like, "Go catch bullets" or something like that. It's like, yeah, we got this job available. But anyway, so that was in. So he graduated high school in '82, and I think he graduated West Point in '84. And then, so that puts him mid-20s, and it's 1990 before Tool releases their first?
91, Opiate.
Yeah. How old was Maynard then? So if he's 64, 74, 84, not 30 years old, so.
And the sound hasn't changed.
Man, okay, I screenshotted something to show you while I was waiting for coffee, so my apologies on keeping you waiting. Did we say 10:30 or 10?
10:30.
Okay, good. Because I was like, man, early. No, and dude, I was like, I can get here. I was planning to be back by 10:10, and I was like, I'll be back in plenty of time. But my apologies on keeping you waiting.
No.
So, I got it. So here's Maynard just shredding in 1990 or something.
Oh yeah.
Look who that is in front of him. Tom Morello.
I was just about to say, yeah, that's Tom Morello.
Yeah. So, which I was talking to my class about Tom Morello the other day. Looks like whoever's next to him, and not to be, assumative or making assumptions on, but it looks like he could be related to that lady. I don't know. Maybe it's a sister or something. Similar.
No, I don't know.
Similar features. But Tom Morello went to Harvard, bro.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, Mike Einzinger from Incubus went to Harvard too.
No, I didn't know that.
So yeah, but fascinating little tidbit, or cool little attraction there.
That's amazing. I mean, he hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah, so his hairstyle evolves a lot. It's and is that his actual hair?
No, I met Tom Morello. He hasn't changed a bit.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, Maynard's hair, because Maynard, it's I almost feel like he has all of these characters.
Dude, that's wigs.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to talk about Maynard's characters, we're going to be talking Andy Kaufman, because he is.
I've just been going down the Andy Kaufman rabbit hole, dude.
Well, that's then he is.
Do you think he's still alive?
Andy Kaufman?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. See, now we're going to really be talking some.
This is the great part about the podcast, dude. So, is Maynard super inspired by Andy Kaufman, or is he just okay?
Well, now you can say that he's a musical parallel of Andy Kaufman, and that's when I get
Maynard
so
loves
interested.
Comedy, and his comedy is
horrifying.
He's probably ahead of its time.
It scares me.
Yeah.
See, I went to the Puscifer show.
Yo, where'd you see him at?
Memphis.
Nice.
So I was already messed up, but okay, it's just one giant silk screen. Okay, so they don't let you film anything. They will escort you out of the building, okay? But it's just this intimate little show. Karina Round opened up for him. She's the female vocalist, and I'm pretty sure she does quite a few backing vocals in the new Perfect Circle, but we'll get into that, maybe. Karina Round is this just voluptuous, sexy girl, and she sings with Maynard. She's the other vocalist of Puscifer. But, I mean, just after she opens for the band doing her little solo project, out of nowhere, here comes Maynard, and he's pulling this little Airstream RV, not RV, but just a little camping trailer.
Yeah. Didn't they film a music video or something in a camping trailer?
Yeah, but dude, he's pulling it on stage like a mule. He's just pulling it on stage, just pulling it on stage, literally, and then Karina steps out of it. And as he's talking a little bit, they start setting up a campsite with a fire, it's a fake fire, but it's a fire. And they start setting up chairs. and they set up the wine. Well, I've tasted his wine. We're going to talk about that too.
Is it exquisite? They were drinking it on JRE.
I've got my own words for it.
All right, fantastic.
And well, see, I just got distracted because his wine will take you back.
Yeah,
it will. But
dude, you remember that muscadine wine you used to have? Holy
my
shit.
bootleg.
Like, I can still taste that wine.
Yeah,
That's the best wine I've ever had.
I'm a wine dude, bro. I'm a wine dude. All right, so, damn, that's delicious. Okay. Here we were watching them set up this camp, and then him and Karina start singing together. This beautiful acapella.
Oh,
just
dude,
harmonizing.
I remember the first time you played that barbershop thing that Maynard does on maybe like, what is it, the Emotive album?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Once again.
Oh, man.
My dear brother, my dear friend. Yeah. Well, here was Maynard and Karina singing. I can't remember the name of the song. It was Home. Yeah, and they start singing together, and it's just this gorgeous thing. And then they start wheeling the drums out on a platform, and the whole band just starts showing up, and they set up chairs, and every now and then someone will get up and play, and then when they're not playing, they'll sit down and drink some wine, and it's just this intimate evening with Puscifer. And between songs, between sets, they will play this comedy stuff, and it's so hard to understand because Maynard's in these characters, and he's talking to himself sometimes, and he's got this look-alike double. I guess, I don't know, that's when it gets Andy Kaufman, because remember Andy Kaufman had the doubles, I guess. Is he alive?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
What's his name? That Zumda guy. They both played the.
They'd both show up,
lounge,
right?
The lounge guy. What was his name?
Oh God,
I keep forgetting, dude. That's the second time I forgot. I got way too much shit going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, and I just had to learn all about the Protestant Reformation, and there's a whole bunch of like, I need to clear that out and put some good stuff.
You only got so much room, man.
I know.
Yeah,
I keep telling my students, I'm like I'm teaching this history class now, and fortunately only have one class, 32 students at this time, but I'm just like, okay, there's this. I heard that you can only store up to 150 names in your head, and I have like 200 plus members at my gym, so that puts you guys at Yeah. I'm going to remember like 3 of you. And that's about 3. And like one person I've had like a lot of rapport with, I couldn't even tell you what her name is because she recently got married. So her name's different in the system and she has 4 names. I'm just like, give me a break here. Like, is your name this, or that, or this? And like, it's funny too, because you know the movie Unbreakable.
Oh yeah.
So have you seen the sequel? I keep telling people about this. There's a sequel, bro.
I knew there was, but what's the name?
Split.
That is the sequel to Unbreakable, right? But I haven't seen it, and it's James McAvoy.
So freaky.
James McAvoy.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, see, I haven't seen it yet, and I love James McAvoy.
Dude, he's like I'm not gonna like blow the story for you. Like telling you it was a sequel to Unbreakable really blew the story for you, honestly.
No, that's fine. That makes it for me. I'm a movie man.
And they don't reveal that. Like it's really creative how they do it. But so James McAvoy plays this character that has these split personalities.
Yeah,
obviously.
Right.
But how they go over, like kind of what you're saying with Maynard, it's like, or Andy Kaufman, it's like they do that with him, and James McAvoy kills it way harder than I've ever seen him. I liked him in the X-Men movies and stuff, but he plays 23 different. I mean, you may not see all 20. Yeah, I guess you do. But I mean, in like a certain number of the characters are female, and then one of them's a little boy named Hedwig, like Harry Potter's.
Right.
Yeah, dude, I love Harry Potter. By the way, I just want to throw that out there. I'm a big Potterhead.
Well, good.
Yeah. Anyway, so
no, I love James McAvoy. If I can give you a well, I guess I might as well just be personal here. He plays in a movie called Filth.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, get on it. Netflix it.
Is it on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I got HBO and Hulu stuff too.
Being a person who suffers from rapid cycling bipolar disorder, and I've gone through all the therapy. I have the therapy. It takes forever to get the right cocktail of medicine and music and channeling to get your stuff together. That movie, as a sufferer of that disease, that movie is the most horrifying portrait of manic depression, which is the same thing as bipolar disorder, to listeners who don't know that. That movie is the most horrifying and realistic look into the dark recesses of bipolar disorder that has ever been made. And like, I shudder that I've even expressed that truth, that it's one of those movies like you don't want people that know you, if you have that disorder, to see that film, because it's so much like, oh my God, now they're going to know who I really am.
So like his character, he's the protagonist, antagonist. Well, he's the main character, and he's
not a good guy, but he is the protagonist. If that makes any sense.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I don't know. I mean, I'm interested in it.
It's a must see.
Yeah,
it's a must see.
Well, yeah, man, I'm really enjoying all the movies I can remember that I've seen with James McAvoy. I think that he did this one movie that I was like, well, I'm not going to watch that. Some sort of like super love story movie, war. I don't remember what it was.
He's good in everything.
Yeah, I know.
Good in that Christina Ricci movie where she had the pig nose.
What the fuck? I haven't seen that one. Yeah,
it's on.
I got to get up on my
Netflix,
James McAvoy filmography. So, real quick plug. So, this guest I'm going to have on, I was telling you about earlier. He has filmed. Speaking of Keith Richards, on Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Wasn't he in that? Wasn't Keith Richards?
Oh yeah, he's
oh
man, Jack Sparrow's father.
Yeah. So he filmed on National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets, Crank. Maybe it was the sequel to Crank, but those Jason Statham movies where, you know, he's like got to keep his adrenaline up or his heart's going to die or something.
Crank.
Yeah. But he's worked on all of these super awesome movies. Rob Zombie's Halloween, dude. He filmed on that.
He's going to be name dropping for days.
Yeah. What's so funny is like, too, like there's like this big selection of stories that was like, hey, we're not gonna get into these, not for any, just because
he knows a lot.
Well, dude, Hollywood,
it's amazing,
and I think that's why every time I've heard Maynard talk about like, because everybody's like, dude, why the hell are you in Arizona?
Well, yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna touch on that. Yeah.
But man, have you been to LA?
No, I have not.
Holy shit, dude, it's so stressful. Like the 405. I told somebody this other day about like one time we were like. First, like we leave where we're staying at in like Irvine, Long Beach area, like, which is not super bad. We go to Hollywood. Takes forever. It's not even that far away. It just takes forever. So we drive to Hollywood for like over an hour. We go for a little hike, and then it's like, bam, we got to go pick this girl up from the airport. So we leave Hollywood and we start driving to the airport, and the airport's like 17 miles away or something, and that may not be a correct distance, but it took us like over an hour and a half in the worst. And it's like, you know how we don't even deal with traffic here for the most part, and then like we make a wrong turn or something, we're like, oh, damn it, it's like, dude, imagine making a wrong turn in that kind of traffic, and I'm sure I did. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to delay you. I mean, but simple distance. That's why I'm so fascinated with this Elon Mustang, is because I have just stressed in that traffic. Like he was saying, he's like, traffic is one of the most anxious things, like Dallas traffic, for example. Perfect Circle is playing in Dallas soon. My buddy Colby and I have been talking about going. I don't know if we will, but I want to.
I'm going to open the Elon can for just a second, because my son is doing projects on him, so I know some stuff because I've been digging. Okay, 2024, he's taking the BFR, which is the big fucking rocket. He's taking it to Mars.
Okay. How long is that going to take to get there? Yeah, because I used to hear 6 months.
See, they haven't released that. I mean, maybe
I don't believe in pretty much anything NASA puts out.
It's not NASA.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, NASA is the one who's putting out the 6 months.
And this is the part that there's like 3 or 4 mind blowing aspects to this. Here's the part that's going to start blowing your mind. NASA and the astronauts don't want him to do this.
Oh, I know.
The astronauts are saying, we hate you for this. Don't do it. It makes him cry. He said, these are my heroes telling me don't.
Can I segue real quick?
Please.
And I don't know if this is true. Everything I've researched, this is true. Every single astronaut in the United States and elsewhere, some from Canada, some from European countries, are all Freemasons.
No, I know this.
What the fuck is that?
No, I know. And this scares me. My dad was a Freemason.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, he was. And he went to his grave not telling me anything. So I have nothing to say about it. I don't know. I wish I could. But,
That's wild. Did he go to like lodge meetings and stuff? Like
He
later in his
stopped
life?
practicing later in his life. So honestly,
He's got
I know
the
nothing.
secret Egyptian knowledge, bro.
You know, I don't want to get shot. So, but
Yes, let's talk about something else.
but I know that I was staying in Missouri as a teenager. Me and the family were, and when we were kids, you know, and we were, I guess it was Branson, and the owner walks up and says, "Are you guys having a good time in this hotel? You guys having a good time?" We were down there swimming at the pool. He said, "You guys having a good time?" Yeah. And him and my dad started looking at each other funny. And my dad goes, "So have you been traveling?" And the guy said, "Yeah, from the north to the south." And my dad goes, "Really?" And then they shook hands in some strange way. And all of a sudden, the guy puts us in the Royal Suite, which was a house down in the woods. He calls it the Royal Suite. It was a house down in the woods. And we got all this room service and all this stuff. And that's my only.
Did you ever
story.
see him do like any hand signals or anything? You know, like that.
Oh,
like I've heard like, you know, there's several things.
Dude, it was so fast. They were moving differently. They were talking differently. They were saying things that like my cousin was with us. We were like,
I'm just trying to picture your dad doing like a secret.
No, it wasn't like that.
You know,
no, I'm going to say this. It was one gesture. Like literally when they shook hands, it was just in a different way that most people do it.
Yeah.
And I know that when my dad was going to a church, they used to shake hands. You know, everybody would get up and shake hands with everybody, and he would know who was a Mason just by the way they shook hands. So, like, there's so many signals. But
I'm fascinated by that.
It's so, I mean, and the symbol is on my dad's grave. So
I was, I almost asked you
if it's there.
Oh. Is it, what's that little thing?
Yeah.
What is that? Protractor?
Yeah, it's a Masonic. Yeah, it's I can't think what that's called.
Yeah.
I almost called it a sextant, but it's not a sextant because that's so ignorant. What is it called? Yeah, it's like a protractor.
Yeah, same essential.
I'm having a destructive brain moment.
Well, so.
Oh yeah, we were talking Elon.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Okay, yeah, he's
Sorry, yeah, the Freemasons thing. Yes,
I could go on. Like I said, we have so many topics here. Okay, so they're going to Mars. Okay, and then they're staying there, right? They are building Mars City. This is no joke. Mars City is going up. And here's the fun part. He's all right. What are the rules on a different planet? What are the regulations?
Thought about that. What are you going to come up with laws? Are they going to be the same laws?
They've already released what he's going to be doing.
Does he get to come up with his own laws?
He's going to nuke the north and south poles of Mars in order to create an atmosphere. Okay, that's what they're going to try. And here's the best part. He's already working. He released this a couple days ago on the first ever release of what is called the warp drive. But they're going to be working on it on Mars.
Like, just different gravity?
No, warp. Interstellar travel.
Yeah.
Warp. But it's not the speed of light like we saw in Star Wars and Star Trek and all those things we dreamed about our whole life. I'm talking taking a small space.
So you're just saying they're going to take the technology to
that we can't work on
Mars because
we can't do it here because of regulations.
You know, did you watch that Tom DeLonge podcast where he was like railing off on some crazy shit and like all the regulations about how he's got some company that he's trying to create these futuristic technologies and ways of travel.
You just can't do it here. Because what are the repercussions? But you can do it there. It just suddenly, hit me. I'm like, well, they can do anything they want there. And I'm not, I try not to follow as many of the conspiracy theories and stuff. But what they're really doing is taking 2 points in space and bending a small part of space together. That's how they're going to be doing it.
What does Elon Musk call that? An interplanetary system?
Like I said, right now they're just.
He has some sort of weird like interplanetary. He says we need to be a multi-planet species or an interplanetary species.
Oh yes, interplanet. Oh yeah. An interplanetary species. Yeah. So, he wants to die on Mars. Hopefully not on impact.
He did say that. Yeah. Dude's out there, man, but that's what we need. Like, I mean, just like listening to him talk, he's like, well, I saw this problem with it's like a social problem, and I thought that we could fix it this way.
Well, the kids that are going to be astronauts to go on Mars are in space camp right now. So it's happening. I mean, the rockets, the parts of Falcon Heavy, that broke off, they landed with repulsors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's already happened. I mean,
Instead of just falling in the ocean.
And, you know, he's bringing out that technology where the rockets are going to be taking people up into the
all sorts of stuff.
It's like the rocket's going to be taking people up into orbit and then landing on other cities where you can be able to travel. Like a boat will ferry you out to the middle of the water where it's safe to take off, the repulsor landing pads, and the rockets will take you anywhere on any major city. I'm talking New York to Beijing. Okay,
did you see that some
29
crazy flight? I think it was going to Hawaii, and like the engine cover came off. Like, dude, all the airplanes are like from the 70s and shit. Yeah, like I get sort of nervous flying because actually we're in. I know it's, you know, information spreading more and more rapidly, but dude, I feel like we've heard about more plane crashes than ever and more plane failures than ever in the last 10 years. But and it's like I'm just doing some research on it because a lot of the planes are old as shit.
Why do the astronauts want him to stop? What do they know?
It's a Freemason conspiracy, bro.
Either that, or they never went, or they.
That is another podcast, which I would love to do. I'm gonna do. Hey, so here's this thing. Like, I have this history unraveled. Like, I've yet to release my first episode, but I've got my first 10 episodes planned. I'm going to do other episodes but I'm going to do a 1968 Unraveled. We're at that 50th year anniversary.
Yeah, Moonwalkers.
Yeah. So 1968 has all this crazy shit go down. Mm-hmm. And then in 1969, we beat the Russians. We went to the moon. That's basically, you know, and then, I want to get into history conspiracies. I want to do like a 10-episode run of that. I want to hit the moon landing. I want to hit JFK. There's a whole plethora of topics I would like to delve into, and perhaps you could be back on the moon landing episode.
I would love that. I would love to talk about China wanting to privatize mining on the moon.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've heard that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a fascinating topic, and I'm learning more and more about it. Just getting into this 1968 stuff because I'm trying to look, because everybody would agree, I think, that after LBJ doesn't run for re-election in 68, you have Nixon come in, which is like one of the on record most corrupt political administrations to ever be in the White House that we know about. I'm sure there may be some more corrupt presidents, but
this is what happens when we don't talk for a long time. Dude.
I know. Okay, back to Maynard. Back to Maynard. How did we get on Freemason conspiracies?
Well, all right, because I'm looking here. 1964 somehow became 1968, maybe. I'm going to try to reel this in.
So I think so you were talking about the Puscifer show.
Puscifer show, dude, one big silk screen. All right, and you haven't seen anything until you've seen a giant thunderstorm take place. A giant video of a thunderstorm 50 feet high, lightning striking Maynard himself, you know, and then during the middle of a song, and then another video. I say video, but it's really just him worshiping the sun. I can't put it in words, but it was.
How long was the show?
3 hours.
Wow.
I wasn't in a.
And it's just not the traditional band setup at all.
They're just hanging out. And you're so relaxed by the end of it, you know. It puts you in another state of consciousness.
Like floor seating, like it in stadium, or like what was the venue like?
Oh, of course I'm going to forget the name of it. It's at the end of Beale Street.
Is it Minglewood Hall?
Is it Beale Street in Memphis? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's Bourbon Street in New Orleans. It's Beale and
Bourbon and Beale.
Beale Street.
I get them mixed up.
Yeah, Memphis and May.
Beale Street. It's at the very end. The big theater. Boy, I just hate forgetting things.
Is it not Minglewood Hall?
No.
Somebody just played at Minglewood recently. I can't remember who.
Well, it was a big, you know, the big beautiful theater. There was about, less than 1,000 people there, which it could have held a lot more. It wasn't packed.
How much were tickets? Because for 1,000, we just saw Joe Bonamassa, and they didn't even sell upper deck seating. It was like an intimate show.
And, this was we weren't in upper deck, but
that's a small venue.
This was about $56, I think, is what I paid to get in.
Wow. So that's not like super lucrative. He's doing that just like a labor of love then, right?
It seems like it, you know, but that's Puscifer is his brainchild. If we're going to talk about the three projects of Maynard, you got Tool, A Perfect Circle, and Puscifer. Tool is his masculine side. A Perfect Circle is his feminine side. Puscifer is his, you could say it's the baby of them both. No, it's not. It's his creative subconscious come to life. It is his brainchild.
Well, this seems to just how you're describing it to me, and based off what little I know about Puscifer, which out of the 3 projects, that's the one I know the least about.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you told me about him, and my friend Colby, he's big time into Maynard and all 3 of all 3 as well. But it seems to kind of encompass theater, comedy, music, spoken word. You know, I mean, just it's really interesting. It's like
it's some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard. You bring it all together, and a lot of it's angry. I get a lot of anger out of it, and I get a lot of comfort out of it at the exact same time. It's
what were the name of the album? The Puscifer album?
V for Vagina.
V for Vagina, and then
What is one of them.
What he did 3 studio albums with Puscifer. When was the last Puscifer album that came out?
Oh, dude, you're gonna make me remember. Let's pull it up so I don't say the wrong thing.
Yeah. So now, okay. So there seems to be some. I talked to different Tool fans, and I was actually disappointed in the Tool show.
Oh,
could have been.
Boy. I wasn't at the one you went to.
I was sitting next to some stupid acting people.
Yeah,
that could have been it. But like, I was disappointed that. Yeah, I don't know. I was just expecting something different. They played mostly radio hits. They did play a couple extra songs that hadn't been playing on the leg of the tour, but it's just like, well, we're right here where we left off in 2006 when I graduated high school. You're wearing the same clothes and you have the same exact gimmick.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
You know, they did play a little bit of this instrumental, but there's no vocals. And I know that Maynard said on the podcast, it's like he's just waiting for the band to complete the music, which allegedly they have.
That's Tom Morello heard it. He said it was outstanding.
But some people think that like different releases, and I don't think this with Puscifer, but different releases he's done kind of could have been what he was going to do with Tool. But because I'm disappointed that there hadn't been a Tool album since I was a senior in high school, 2006 when I graduated. And so V is for Vagina, Conditions of My Parole,
that's
and
it.
Money Shot.
Money Shot.
Then they have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 remix albums, 2 live albums.
That live album was what I was thinking about.
3 EPs, and their first single was called Country Boner.
Country Boner.
CUNTRY.
That's right. That's the one. Have you heard that?
No.
You will laugh yourself to death.
I mean, yeah, like this is high art.
Okay, it's a money shot all over country music and every country music star. It's ridiculous. I'll
have to listen to this because I've been wanting to go down like a YouTube rabbit hole on Puscifer, and I knew that after we sat down and chatted about different things, because like I said, I know that you're into Puscifer, and
everybody does. I shove it up everyone.
Let's see. So Karina Round is the other vocalist. That's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't really know any of these other people. Matt Mitchell, Paul Barker, Jeff Friedel, and Mahasa Zergar.
Yeah, a lot of them. That's his new band. New live band. None of the members are permanent except Maynard, as far as Puscifer.
The bassist is 60. I mean, Maynard's getting up there, mid-50s.
Yep.
So he's pushing 30 when Tool starts to take off. When does the first of Perfect Circle? When does Maynard James come out?
2001.
I remember. So what? That's translated for Sea of Names. Is that correct, Maynard James?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, okay. I was graduating high school. I was a senior in high school. I remember because I was showing it to. Oh God, what was her name? Miss Wheeler. I don't know if she was there when you were there. I think she was long gone.
She I remember hearing a lot of people talking about her. I never had her. No.
And Mr. Whitworth, and I was.
Did you know who I just had on the podcast? Josh Wilson.
Oh, really?
Remember Josh Wilson?
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw him on the podcast.
But he's this man. He's a Renaissance man, much
really
himself, like band, music, choir. He just does it all. So, but yeah, Miss Wheeler. What were
Jackass of all trades. I love it. That's me, man. I love it.
Likewise, you know what's funny is just this morning when I was driving to get that coffee, I was like, I could be doing so much more. How could I ever be happy? Like, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would I think that? Like, because I mean,
every day
I'm involved in a lot of shit. You know, I got this podcast. I'm teaching a history class. I got the gym. The gym in and of itself is enough to keep me totally busy. Yeah. Right. And, but I'm just like, no, I would never, I just need to do these more things. Just feel satisfied.
Yeah. People are like, why do you take such long showers, bro? What are you doing in there?
Planning.
What have I done with my life? Dude, that's what you're doing there, man.
It's weird. And I have a lot of time where I just call it chill time, but where I'm just thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's super important. And I used to think I was being, and like that was it this morning. I was like, am I being lazy? Am I doing enough with my time? Because Maynard was, what got me thinking about that, I'm sure, is because Maynard was talking, I was watching the JRE, that very, very first episode, and he was talking about how he tries not to get in his own way by being disorganized, and he does more work spends more time on logistics, so he doesn't have these hang-ups. So he's like created all these processes for writing his songs. And have you ever heard how he writes his lyrics?
Well, I've heard several things, but I
have too.
I'm not sure which
pretty much anymore. It seems like what he does is he's like, man, I just go. I get a track from the band and I put it in the CD player in my truck, which has a sick ass sound system, and I drive out to the lake and I sit down. But I've also heard, like, I think it's was it Schism or 46 and 2? He heard Adam Jones play one time and then he was like, here are the words.
Really?
There's one of their main songs where he like, I think you can get with this because you understand melody, right? You like. Just melody. So like you might have a melody that goes with a guitar part that gets written, or the guitar part might get created to go with your melody. Yeah. And I think that his vocal style, I think we're talking about that a cappella stuff that he's done, is I don't know, he just has a unique melody. He was talking about that with the new Tool stuff. He's like, well, they would write a song and they would give it to me, and then I would go back and we would go to do some more work in the studio on this new Tool stuff. And he's like, and then they've changed a couple of things, like just very subtle timing, whatever. And he's like, so my vocal melody no longer goes with it. So then we would have to start all over.
You know, the best songs I've ever written personally are just a Bacchus frenzy of 5 minutes and you're just done.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
And if you sit and you try to write something, it's going to be bad.
Rob and I discussed this yesterday. Yeah. It's like you can't.
So you basically
you can create a creative process like I was talking about Maynard did, but you can't force creativity.
No.
Like that's why, like with this podcast, I almost try not to like it, and I mean I'm going to get better as time goes on. Being the host.
No, you're fantastic. You're fantastic, bro.
But it's, well, thank you. I mean,
bro, you're awesome.
Thanks, dude. Well, thanks for coming on.
No, it's my pleasure.
We'll definitely have to have you back. But it's, like I said, man, it's just fulfilling to be able to do things I love to do. So, but
that's what life's about.
But to just like nothing about. I try not to make anything about this podcast forced.
No, it can't be.
I haven't even I've got all these different we did some recordings for intros. Mm-hmm. And I haven't been stressed out about putting them on because, what I'll probably start doing on the audio is recording a little spurt at the beginning, being like, "Hey, sit down with John. Here's some things we talked about, and we edited out this one part, and or whatever, But I want to do I want to start doing. I've been talking to a couple of the audience members that listen to every podcast, and I'm like, "Hey, give me some best of clips." Mm-hmm. It's like somebody watches our podcast and like, you guys are like riffing super hard on this, and that was a crazy theory. Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna pull that clip out and put it on YouTube in a clip section or outtakes, like us just bullshitting after the podcast.
That's a good
officially
idea.
Over. So, but earlier Tool stuff. So 1990, 91, they're putting their first singles or EPs and studio album together.
I knew about Tool and Maynard and stuff even before that. I knew other stuff. My first experience with Maynard and the Bros, okay, and this is really going to show my nerd side and my old is going to show, bro, because Green Jelly.
I've just been reading about it.
Okay.
I've never listened to it.
Okay, here's my nerd show.
Was Danny Carey in that band?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, he was. Here's where it shows. Is there was an old Super Nintendo game called Spider-Man and Venom.
Dude, I think I have. I have a retro Super Nintendo out there with 400 games on it.
Okay, right. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, dude, I remember that game.
So Green Jelly does the whole soundtrack.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So that was my first experience, okay? That was it. So that's a special thing right there.
And I know that we're not really going off on, I just recently heard this, Dylan Sparks, who I was telling you, is across the hall, his kid's across the hall. What do you know about Danny Carey's drumming style?
He has 8 arms.
Yeah, well, okay, so I've heard that, you know how most people have like this sort of a spaghetti arm technique?
Like the trill. Yeah.
I've heard he is
like a tongue trill.
A slicer.
Okay, now...
He hits the drum or the cymbal at like an angle, like a slight, like chopping.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard that, but it apparently it creates a different timing than the like that. So he's more like this. I don't know.
I'll have to ask Kyle. Kyle will know.
Yeah, I've been like, I was just like, and I was just trying to find something about it, and I've thought about it several times since somebody told me that, and.
I've heard so many rumors. There's myths and legends. Like this whole kit is made of melted cymbals.
Wow.
Things like that. I don't know.
He's insane. So what's his super group that he's been involved in with like the guy from Mastodon?
I was just about to say Mastodon.
Promise are training soon. So is he in Mastodon, or is it him and the lead singer from Mastodon have their own little thing?
I think that.
Yeah, I know nothing about him other than I just like it's on my radar.
Yeah, I've heard it. I'm gonna get killed for saying this. I thought it was silly and very Primus, in the Primus kind of way, but that's just me.
Yeah, so it's crazy. People define a Perfect Circle as a super group.
Yeah, because Billy Howardell.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you what do you know about Billy Howardell?
He was the guitar tech for Tool.
So basically, Adam Jones's lackey, in a way.
In a way, yeah. But he was really a Maynard fan. Look at the dude. In my opinion, I think he was just a Maynard clone in a sense. He sings just like him, for God's sakes. But I'm probably giving false information, because, like I said, I put Maynard on this mythos. I shouldn't, but it's part of what I like to be. I like to be illusioned with this.
So they say there's only there's different figures out there, but there's an old sort of Japanese school of thought that there's only going to be like 2 great martial arts masters in any generation. So it's pretty universally accepted that Rickson Gracie is the fucking greatest, who ironically gave Maynard his purple belt.
Purple belt, yeah.
So, and I got to train with Rickson. I just trained with a guy, Jack, and had him on the podcast that had lunch with Rickson 2 days before he came out. So,
do you? How changed are you? Because
dude, I would say right now, I tell everybody this changed my entire life.
It had to have.
Yeah, because here's the crazy story, and I not to overly tell this, but
please do.
I was in Vegas, and I got to go to this Rickson seminar, and Jack is there. The guy I just had him for seminar, Caleb, Cora, myself, we're all in there, and 200 other people. And then Rickson picks me. He's like, hey, come here. I'm going to show this technique. And everybody's watching, and I was just like, holy shit. And so he's showing me this way to stop someone from passing your guard. And he has these high level ways of thinking about stuff. He always is talking about connection. So he was teaching me how to do this drill I already knew how to do, but how to apply this concept of connection to it. And because one of my guys commented on it, we called the drill crazy legs. And he saw me doing it, and he's like, dude, you're doing crazy legs with Rickson, because the video's on the internet, because that is the exact time in which his whole family and every significant person in the area and all these red belts and coral belts and Fabio Santos and Pedro Sauer and Euler Gracie and Horian Gracie, started the UFC, all kicked the door in. Fabricio Verdum, who I saw fight in the UFC that week, Cobrinha, this legendary. So all these people, the who's who of the art. I hate it when people call it the sport, because it's so the who's who of the art. And they gave him his red belt, and I was just kind of crawl back, and I'm like, so then afterwards I was like, wait a second, I was Hickson's Uke when he was promoted to red belt. But Uke is basically means that this guy was showing the technique on,
right?
In Japanese. So I don't know. What are the odds of that happening? Super low. I remember seeing Choke, and that changed my life. And then I got to do 3 hours with him that day, and then an hour the next day, and then I've done I think Jack's come to my gym 4 times, and my buddy Eric's in Memphis 2 times, and then I've been out to his house a couple of times. So I've trained with him, close to 10 times total have we, sit down and done jiu-jitsu. I got to do 6 hours with him when he was here last. But here's a crazy connection. Jack and I were talking about this on the podcast. If you have time, watch that. It's we go a little over the top. We drank an entire bottle of Crown.
Fantastic.
It was a good podcast. But so after that seminar, and I thought it was Jack that was filming, but it wasn't. There's this other guy they know named Eddie Fivey, and I got to meet him at the seminar. I've only met him once, but he runs this big club in New York.
Right.
And they were all I guess Jack goes out and has dinner with these guys in Hickson. And so he's sitting there, and guess who texts Hickson? We talked about it on the podcast. So Maynard texts Hickson, hey, congratulations on your promotion, da-da-da-da-da. So Jack's sitting here having, this dude's my bro. This dude came to my wedding, did a seminar, and then donated all the money for Core and I's honeymoon. Dude's just, he's my bro. I love the guy, So he's sitting there on a wall at this table where every restaurant they're at, and this Eddie Fivey guy records Hickson on Hickson's phone, and it's Hickson makes his videos hey, thank you so much, my brother, for telling me congratulations, da-da-da-da, and just sends Maynard a video. I knew you'd like that story.
Oh, I mean, it's
I
love Hickson, dude. I could go on and on about Hickson.
Yeah, I wonder, what's crazy is that earlier podcast that Maynard did, Hickson was not around.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually, I've learned a lot more from Hoyler.
Mm-hmm.
And not taking anything away from Hoyler. Hoyler's produced some great people, and Hoyler's legit in his own right. But Hickson's just on a whole other level. Well, now Hickson's back, and Hickson's been back for 3 or 4 years. He was gone for 10. And now Maynard's kind of since Maynard's gotten his purple belt and started, when Hickson just disappeared, all of the old guard went either to John-Jacques Machado or Carlos Machado or Hegan. I mean, just different ones. I feel like most people in California went to John-Jacques. That's who Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo both got their black belts from.
Right.
So, but man, it's cool to see, back on this thing with what we got onto Hickson, Maynard is that of music.
Of music, absolutely.
He's and if we're just talking about frontmen,
mm-hmm.
I think frontmen are a lot more rare. I've heard a lot of guitar players talk about this and be yeah, man, I could never be a frontman.
Mm-hmm.
Because a frontman's unique. I could play. He's Jimmy Harriet from Widespread Panic was saying this, and he's so he plays he a 300 song catalog from
mm-hmm.
Panic. He's joined Panic in 2006 after
mm-hmm.
their guitar player died of pancreatic cancer in 2002, and he was talking about frontmen
mm-hmm.
on this video I saw, and he's yeah, man, back in the 70s. I could play all the Zeppelin tunes, but who's gonna sing them? There's no Robert Plants. And that's right. It's to be a front man, that's its own unique enigma of
you
the
have
band.
to be born with it, its presence.
Well, and two, so do you feel like Tool has gotten along as as a unit or as a family or as a team or an army or whatever you want to call them?
Who would know?
Yeah, because I wonder, why is it because Maynard's done this, the Perfect Circle stuff, this Puscifer stuff, that Tool is almost 12 years without an album, I guess. And then why I guess the Perfect Circle's 14 without an album.
14 years, yeah.
And then Puscifer's stuff's been coming out sporadically over during that time.
He stays busy. I don't know about the rest of them. I just don't know.
So, but and maybe because I think this is unique, and you touched on this a little bit. It's how hard is it to stay dynamically networked with 3, 4, 5 other guys?
Oh, I know it's not easy. I have a hard enough time with one band, and I'm nobody. So I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine, and he's not a people person.
Yeah, I just think he's so much more intelligent than everybody.
But I tell you something else. If given the chance, I don't think I want to meet him.
I'd be intimidated as fuck.
Well, I'm just going to tell you flat out, he's not a people person. He doesn't like meeting people. I mean, he got offered to do a reality show about him and Merkin Vineyards, is Caduceus wine. He said no. He said
Merkin Vineyards. That's the name of his vineyard.
Yeah.
What does that Merkin mean? I'm gonna look that. He always has like these cool.
I hate not being able to answer every question.
You know
as much as I do about so much of this stuff, man. I'm coming up lacking here.
Well, I did a little bit of research on him.
Yeah,
and watched some of these interviews. But dude, you like I said, you can go way more in depth. I just know some connections. I know some trivial knowledge, and I've been a fan of Tool, and more so of a Perfect Circle this time, because I've got a lot of Perfect Circle on the playlist, because I can't get any fucking Tool on my playlist as the gym, because Maynard and all of his greatness will not allow his stuff to be on Spotify, and I get it.
Cannot take the Dark Lord's music.
Yes, apparently they've worked out some deal. Rob and I did a big talked about digital music for like an hour yesterday, and a lot of bands have been able to diversify, and I think Tool's smart. Like, for the longest time, there were no Beatles, and which not like that was super jacked up about the Beatles, but there's no Led Zeppelin on Spotify, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And now there is, and I have like probably a dozen Led Zeppelin songs we play in the gym at least. And once that Tool comes on, that's just going to take it to a whole new level. I'm going to see if it's on there yet. Man, I just got a new phone, and I don't even have the Spotify app. Damn it. Anyway, but yeah, that's so they only pay like 0.0009 cents on the listen.
I don't know how it works. I do know how it works, but I'm saying I don't know how it racks up so fast, but I get a check from Spotify constantly.
Really?
I make good money on Spotify.
Nice.
So I don't know why. I mean, if I do, like I said, I'm nobody. I don't know why people that are in these bands. Of course,
do you know where your demographic is at? Because Rob was telling me he gets tons of listens in Europe.
Dude, I was just about to say that. My listeners, I sell tons of music to New Zealand.
That's awesome.
I get tons of listeners in Germany. Dude, I was on the front page of a magazine in Germany, a metal magazine in Germany. I did this huge layout, this huge spread in Germany, and these interviews. So it's like, the world's a big place. And if you can network, get out of this tri-county area, get out of these 3 states.
That's the goal of this podcast, is to reach
get out.
Like, that's why, like, I don't know, just like we are in a different culture in our geographically limited area, but I think that we're breaking through that as individuals, and I know that I am. I've traveled a lot, and I don't think I think like typical Arkansan now, but it's weird how I could teach a course on Arkansas history, and the stereotypical the image of the Arkansan and all this, and it's like there's a whole like go to Louisiana and Mississippi and come back and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I drove through Georgia a couple years ago, and I was like, not like Athens or Atlanta or anything, but
I hate Mississippi,
dude. Yes, like there's.
I can tell you what Mississippi is. Go urinate in the toilet, step into the toilet, cover yourself in said urine. Mississippi.
Dude, like driving the highways in Mississippi to
hate it.
To Theo Vaughn.
Have
you heard that cab? So he's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Have you heard that cab story that he told on like JRE or Church of What's Happening Now about like this cabbie and then like this cabbie picking up this prostitute? It's Dude, it is out there funny. Because Joey Diaz is on it with him. And,
oh, really?
Oh, man, it's just...
Joey Diaz, man, he makes anything funny.
Yeah, no, dude. Cora hates listening to him, but because like he's just so over the top vulgar, dude. He is like, yeah. So I'm not even gonna repeat. Like I'll tell you, there's a couple of videos I watched recently that was like Joey Diaz on this,
right.
And it was just like, yeah, okay, I gotta watch that 12 minutes of him talking about it.
I mean, Joey was a good friend of Ralphie. Ralphie.
Yeah, and, you got to meet Ralphie May, didn't you? Yeah, didn't you? Like, did you have to do his coordinating him coming in?
No, dude, I wish. Okay. But I got to hang out with him, and here's what's crazy. You know where I live? I live across the street from the cemetery, right?
Yeah, you're still in the same spot.
He's buried there.
Wow.
I went to his funeral.
Oh wow, man!
With
you are right across the street.
I mean, he's buried right there. I went to his funeral. I was right there with his mom and the whole family, and
that's a tragic thing, man. You know, like he ended up dying of pneumonia, isn't that right?
Yeah, he did, and you know, he's the kind of guy that helps so many people out, and you'd never know it. He would just, you know, if someone had a baby or something, he would just, they'd open the door. A friend of his would have a baby. They'd open the door, and there'd be $10,000 worth of gifts. And, you know, cribs and everything else, just sitting there waiting on him. I mean, if you needed help, he would just give it to you, and you'd never know about it. Best dude in the world.
Apparently, when he was like 16 years old or something, he had this horrible car accident, broke like every bone in his body.
It was, you know, going over the Scranton Bridge, right over there at the bluff, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
because where we live, you have to drive across that huge ass 2-mile bridge to go get alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Make a beer.
That was like when
B-double-E-double-R-U-N.
Dude, I just saw Todd Snyder. B-double-E-double-R-U-N. Dude, I just saw that song live. And two, have you heard the story?
That's amazing.
About Todd Snyder in his song called If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
dude.
the Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just saw Todd Snyder, and he blew my mind, bro. He blew my mind. I was like, it was there was 2 rows of like 4 tables, and for whatever reason, thanks to my friend Michael Booty, we got to be on one of those tables. So I was like,
crazy.
There's like the whole audience in George's was well behind me, and I was just like,
man,
just him and an acoustic guitar, dude, and he killed it. I don't know if you've ever seen him do this live, but he told this story. He's like, you know those signs that they say on one side, they say keep out or no trespassing. He's like, and on the other side, they don't say nothing at all. And he's like, and that side was made for you and me. This land is your land. And then he just goes into that. And like he went to it a couple of times. And it was just like he's just funny. Like you laughed. And like it was just like, Rob and I kind of talked about Todd Snyder yesterday. We went off on folk. But it's like, it's just a spectrum of emotion. The whole show is like a spectrum of emotion. Kind of what you're saying about that Puscifer show.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you leave a concert feeling relaxed and not just like super wound up and your ears going wah?
Yeah, I don't go to them half the time because, I mean, I just can't take crowds. I love being the center of attention or not going at all.
It's crazy how I used to be like, no, I'm going to be in the pit on the rail every time. And then like the last 5 years, I'm like, oh, dude, we could get like, you know, like middle deck, like in the back. That way we could get a good.
Too old for that shit.
Yeah, dude.
I'm doing it.
Dude, I remember I used to like want to be in the mosh pit.
Dude,
like, let's start a mosh pit when we go tonight. We're going to push. We're going to do some hardcore dancing.
So here I am going to Freak on a Leash tour, Korn with Rob Zombie. Way back in the day, man. Way back in the day. I'm in the middle of high school, and I'm thinking, I'll get at the front of the pit. That'll be the smart thing to do, so everything's behind you. So I'm in the middle of it, and they start early, and all I hear is blind, right? Oh, my God. Let's just see how many people that can headbutt you at once.
Dude, I love Chutes and Ladders by Korn.
They played that. I mean, it was just... Are
they back? Are they a full band again?
Hell.
So their guitar player is back with them, correct?
Yes, and I tell you what else.
But their drummer left.
The only definite news I can give you, because I don't want to give you false information, is that Jonathan Davis has released a solo album, and it is pretty mellow. He could never release it as Korn. But
what do you think?
Speaking
of Korn, did you ever go to like a Family Values tour back in the day?
I've seen them 4 times, so yes.
Okay, so you remember back in, you mentioned nu metal, but like back when that scene was, I guess, kind of kicking off, and you had like Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Stained, and Linkin Park all on the same tour, and this is like Linkin Park Hybrid Theory, rest in peace. I saw one of my guys wearing a Linkin Park shirt yesterday, and we have several Linkin Park songs on the playlist at the gym, and I'm just like, dude, what a tragic fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. And Chris Cornell right before, and then it's horrible.
It's rough. But I remember those Family Values tours in like '99. But dude, have you seen what Aaron Lewis from Stained is doing? this country band.
The country stuff, yeah.
I'm not into it, but you know,
he's doing a country version of "Crawling" by Linkin Park. It's there.
Is it good?
I feel disrespectful saying anything.
I know. That's why I was just like,
I mean, it's kind of like talking about murder conspiracies with the whole thing. I just feel disrespectful saying anything. I've already just shown disrespect by saying that. So the whole thing is crazy.
Well, let's segue this. Speaking of murder conspiracy, there's a conspiracy out there that show Murder, She Wrote, that lady is actually a serial killer.
Angela Lansbury.
You know it's true.
You've just killed me, dude.
Josh Wilson brought that on, man.
Dude,
and I was just like, what?
That show scared the hell out of me as a kid.
Dude, so it's like a Dexter. You got to think about it like a Dexter, bro. Right?
Why did you say that?
Oh, man. Too much. It's too much.
Dude, I was a little kid sitting there. My mom would put that on. I'd be like, God, no.
I remember,
Murder, She Wrote.
I rember that. And then
Typewriter.
What was that other one? They had it's like they released a male version of it with the dad from Happy Days. It was like Father Dowling's Mysteries or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, dude? What's this trip down memory lane right now?
Dude, you're killing me, man. I can't believe anybody remembers that. I can't talk about this shit with anybody because nobody remembers.
Dude, we grew up in the same time period.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank God.
I'm just a little bit younger than you.
Yeah,
but,
thank God, dude. All my friends are like 9 years younger than me because how the hell did that happen? I don't know.
Dude, if here's how I even heard, if it makes you feel any better.
Oh,
so like when I was in like junior high, like your band was like an urban legend, or like we're like, oh, these dudes are like these guys are rock stars. They're like, because that was back when you were you're Claymore.
Oh Jesus, dude!
But that was nice. Yeah, these guys, da 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 da.
Oh man, Claymore.
Yeah, but y'all were always, people were always buzzing about you, and that's how I even found out who you were, because I think you were probably a senior when I was in like 8th grade or something.
There was just, we were lucky. It's all about luck with music, and there was no other bands, so we were lucky.
Yeah, true.
I was able to come together with some really talented guys, and they had it all. I was pretty bad, and I knew I was bad, and I had to get better. And
well, see, you're classically trained as a vocalist.
Now, yeah. I went through 4.5 years of classical training with a classical Broadway singer. I mean, she was on Broadway, and Mrs. Taddy at U of O, and as an advanced vocal, and one of only 2 advanced vocal students. And man, it changed my life. She taught me to sing to the back of the room without ever needing a microphone. And what that did, it changed my whole life. That was, it's hard. It was boot camp. It was terrible. And she taught me how to recognize who knows what they're doing, who's skilled, who's classically trained, and who's not. And who sings from the core, who's got the vibrato not here but here down in the core, and like Maynard, he's got it. Sing from the core. He can, man, his whole body. People are like, oh, he moves weird.
They say that he threw out his hips from stomping on the stage.
Probably,
dude. Because I love, like, anymore he doesn't do this, but he just,
what?
Get this little seizure going.
I think it's to achieve his sound. I've always thought that.
You know what's crazy to me? How, like, and I never heard Maynard talk about this. Maybe he has, but how. I've heard Panic say this. I've heard John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers say this. Like,
legend.
I'm so sad that he does not play with them. Like, I stopped listening to them. I mean, I hear him on the radio periodically and shit, and kept up with them a little bit. But I actually saw him in concert right after he left the band. And luckily, he's the protege of that, like, went on tour with him and stuff. Right. Klinghoffer. Mm-hmm. I mean, he played with them. He played with them on the Stadium Arcadium tours. But all of these groups talk about tapping into the 4th dimension. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that is a universal way. I've heard more artists than I just mentioned talk about that. But like, Maynard is got something else going on. Like, he is, like I said, it's like if there's 2 great martial arts masters, and one of them's Hickson, and who knows who the other one is. It's like Maynard is Robert Plant, or and above and beyond. It's weird how, and I know they do no quarter. My buddy Colby mentioned him because he saw them play at Halloween 2 years ago, and they opened with no quarter, dressed as Led Zeppelin.
That's cool.
Yeah, apparently, and I saw a little video, and Colby told me about it, but they came out, and he's like, we got some good news, we got some bad news. I can't even remember what it was, and then they're like, the bad news is we are not Led Zeppelin. I can't remember what the good news was on the quote, but yeah.
You know, about the fourth dimension, if we're going to wax poetic here, let's wax poetic. Talk some deep shit here. For a creative person and for a non-creative person to reach that plane of performance, of writing, of creativity, that is a very real thing. It's a very, very real thing. For a person who is not creative to reach it, I'm just going to lay it out. I'm going to give your listeners some truth. For a non-creative person to reach that plane, they have to use drugs. For a person who is creative to reach it, they have to learn to reach it without drugs, or the drugs will take it away from them.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it.
And do you know who taught me that? I'm just going to name drop here, Jim Carrey. So, because, I mean, some very famous names will sit there and tell you, I mean, let's just throw out Richard Pryor. He said, be careful. He told Jim Carrey this himself. He said, you know, even like he smoked enough weed to the point he was like, that shit'll take 40 years off your life. And what I mean is, I don't remember 40 years of my life because I smoked so much of it because I'm not creative. I used it to create creativity with it, to enhance my creativity, because I didn't have it without it.
Have you heard that story about Richard Pryor setting himself on fire?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Holy shit.
Well, so what I'm saying is, if you try to enhance, if you've already got it and you try to enhance it with drugs, you will lose it. If you don't have it, you have to use the drugs to enhance what little you have.
Well, that's take this. Like, I mean, I feel that way about maybe even John Frusciante. Have you ever seen that documentary Johnny Depp did over John Frusciante in like 95 or something?
Yes,
in, like, the depths of his yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yes.
But it's just like filming his house, and then maybe it was BBC, but some European film producer guy people did a documentary on him too, where he's just like, dude, he's in the darkest depths on that on heroin, man. And so, but I think Frusciante was probably on a whole other level of existence before he ever did drugs. But and then here's another thing, I talk about this a lot. Drugs before you were 23 to 25, before you formed your prefrontal cortex.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe even that so on pharmaceuticals. I don't know, but I'm paranoid about people doing too many drugs too young.
Absolutely.
Before they form their full identity. And that's something I've thought a lot about. And but also I hear like a lot of people that grow up in this Hollywood culture, grew up in LA, friends and people I've known over the years, that's a different culture in which like you're smoking weed at 12, you know, like, and by 15 you're doing coke or whatever. And it's just like, it's a different lifestyle, and you get the likelihood for a kid that's growing up in Hollywood or growing up in LA to get exposed to like, dude, I didn't even see cocaine until I was in my 20s. I didn't even like, I remember one day I was somewhere where there like somebody had some, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like I was freaked out by it because I was younger, and I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad drugs. I'm way younger than 25.
It's scary the first time you see it. It's scary.
Yeah. I mean, because people like, are like, oh, it's just, I mean, I would have been way more worried about it in hindsight if it was meth, which it probably was. You know what I'm
around
saying?
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
So, but that's it's just a different culture, it's a different environment, and it is crazy how many people like Kurt Cobain's or just a number of famous musicians that have died. Amy Winehouse, you know, just snubbed out due to drugs or due to their mental state created by, like, I think that's probably if Kurt Cobain committed suicide.
Right, another one.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's dark places that a lot of these people already have due to disorders like bipolar disorder, and like I said, I'll get personal again. Mine during manic depression, there's 5% of the time, there's these genius levels of creativity, 5% of the time, I should say, very rare. And then I can just throw out this bucket frenzy of something amazing, but at what cost? And if I was on some type of enhancement, I would get stuck in these terrible, terrible places that I couldn't get out of because the creativity was already there. And I didn't need the enhancement. But it was addicting. So I'd be like, oh man, I want to stay in that place. I want to write this stuff down. I want to profit off of all this creativity. But you can't stay in that fourth dimension for long. You're not supposed to stay in that fourth dimension for long. It's not meant for us to stay there.
What's so crazy too, I was just listening to Joe Rogan talk about Kundalini yoga, and that's, he does Kundalini yoga, and how people talk about achieving psychedelic state through just breathing exercises.
Yeah,
But, I would put we mentioned like cannabis and cocaine and stuff. I would put those in a totally different classification than like, say, your DMT, psilocybin, ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
See, those are dude, you were the person who told me about wormwood. Yeah, I never drank any, but you had a bottle.
Dude, I've had several bottles. I mean,
yeah, I want to say that you told me a crazy story about like either you or like Tyler Hickman drinking some of it, and I was like, I'm never fucking drinking that shit, bro. Like,
I've chased the Green Fairy 4 times in my life.
How much do you have to drink?
See, I've got lots of things I could say about that because I mean, enough to feel it. So I mean, it's a very strong alcohol anyway. But at one time we're like, hey, let's get primed on a nice big bottle of Bacardi first. That was dumb because we were already drunk then. But I mean, wormwood is it's just
Marilyn
really
Manson
strong.
makes his own brand of wormwood, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, a lot of people are like, dude, it's nothing. It's just
it's hallucinogenic, right?
Everyone's going to tell you it's not, but dude, I've no drinking.
Did you go to the spirit world, John?
We're in the spirit world, asshole. They can't see us.
Classic reference. I remember us joking about that before.
That chicken.
Doc,
did you see the size?
We're referencing the movie Young Guns with Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen's brother. A lot of people, like, look at the other day, Cora was like, yeah, he was. Yeah, he got killed. Cora was like, did you know that Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are brothers? I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, I had no idea. And I was like, yeah, no, I knew that a long time ago. I don't know. I think I want to say that Martin Sheen had Emilio Estevez with the maid or something, like Arnold Schwarzenegger style. I can't remember what happened. I could be wrong.
That's another Google. Worth a Google.
Yeah. Well, so I think we've covered a lot of ground. Where are we at? We're pretty much just in the musical years.
I want to say a little something about Caduceus wine, because I have had it. Dude, let me tell you how dedicated I was to tasting this wine. I literally drank wine for a year, trying every type I could get my hands on every weekend, all through the week, because I wanted to become tannin ready. Because you know about tannins, the stems and the leaves, and if you're not used to it, that's why when you first start drinking wine,
it's the same for coffee bitter too, right?
Yeah, tannins are a lot worse in wine, because it's when you take a drink of like red wines and whatnot, they're really, they're really kind of sour, bitter. You don't like it. That's why everyone wants
big spectrum of
yeah. I hate to not have a word there, but everybody gets it. So. And that's why everybody wants a white Zinfandel, because it tastes like Kool-Aid. But as you drink wines, those wines that you thought were nasty in the beginning, you become tannin trained to it. It opens up your palate in ways that will permanently affect you for the rest of your life. So it heightens your sense of smell for the rest of your life. It heightens your sense of taste the rest of your life. But it really does. I know, it's so pretentious.
I know, right?
I know everybody in Altus, all the sophistabillies.
We do have a surprising little wine culture around us with Altus. I mean, I don't know how high the culture is, but
I call them sophistabillies. Yeah.
Post winery.
You got any Merlot?
Yeah, Merlot. Oh,
I like a cab with my steak.
Yeah, another county we have to drive to get alcohol, by the way.
Yeah. Oldest. Man, so yeah, I drank it, and I learned everything that I could, and I became tannin trained, and I was so ready. Honestly, I was just ready for it to taste terrible, because I was just like, what if it does? What if it does? And honestly, my dad was in the hospital a lot of bad things were going on. A lot of bad things were going on with my dad's health. He was in the hospital. And my dad, the night I tried it, I didn't know this at the time. My dad ended up dying the next day. It was terrible. But like I said, we thought he was getting better. But, segue.
How old was your dad at the time? He's like
79.
Okay. I thought he was like pushing 90 or something.
I was, we'll go back to that. I shouldn't even exist.
Yeah, I know. Funny story about that. I'm like, how do you fit into here?
I shouldn't exist. Dude, my dad was born in 1932, but we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, we got so many topics. So Caduceus wine. My girlfriend had ordered me Chupacabra was the bottle, which, shape-shifting wine is how he referred to it. And as you would sit there and let the air get to it and let it waft, the smells changed so much. It went from one smell to another smell. At one point, it started off smelling very sweet, and he uses Sangiovese grapes, which are these grapes from Tuscany, which don't grow anywhere around here. Only in this certain volcanic soil in Tuscany.
Is that why he is in
Arizona?
That's
because
why he chose.
Yes, that's what I was going to tell you. Only because, Verde Valley. Because it's got this beautiful volcanic soil that you're not going to grow these grapes in, but it worked. It worked, these Sangiovese grapes. And, man, I never tasted anything like it. It was it changed flavor as it wafted the oxygen, and it went from this black cherry juice from Krypton to the black leather of my grandfather's wallet. Like this strange flavors and smells that I can't even describe, from pipe tobacco to earth to this sweet cherry flavors, and it would just constantly change. And I'm like, man, he's got something here. Like, it was worth it. It was fantastic.
Isn't it cool when like somebody that's just ahead of their time, genius, savant, whatever. Like, I mean, how often do you see somebody that's the epitome in like that is? I mean, he's made it to he's an icon in music.
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
time. I mean, he's a persona. Like everybody, I feel like, man, I have been charting Maynard since I was like an early teenager. I used to hang a Perfect Circle, like I would cut out of the magazine and hang it on my wall.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm just like, who is this dude with these like? Because he like sometimes it's noticeable when he's wearing the crazy wigs, but like sometimes he does the mohawk, and I'm like, is that his real mohawk?
No, who knows?
Because he's done the mohawk since like early '90s, maybe even late '80s. I've seen him with the mohawk, but then you'll see him like 2 weeks later and he's bald.
And here he is, he's with the martial arts master. He's with Hickson, and he's got his purple belt. And he's a founder of the Verde Valley Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Yeah, I heard he just started. I think he was talking about that on the last JRE. He just started because that Eddie Fivey guy I mentioned, Jack told me that a lot of times before shows, he will do a private lesson with Eddie Fivey before a show because Maynard's mentioned that he really doesn't want to just drop into a dojo and roll. And like he said, so I heard someone say that he injured his hip stomping on stage, and then he said that he got injured rolling at some academy that he just went up to.
That makes sense.
I don't know which one it was 100%, but
he likes the mental stimulation from it, and I think everyone that's in jiu-jitsu loves that. My brother got me turned on to Hickson. I mean, years ago. My brother's a fantastic martial artist. He's a black belt and Shotokan, black belt and Aikido, and a traditional martial artist. And he's like, John, you've got to get into BJJ.
A lot of people don't realize that Hickson is an Aikido black belt.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that his theories on, I mentioned earlier, connection. There's an article out there, if I'm not mistaken, that say that Hickson got his connection theory from Aikido.
Really?
Yeah, and he's big time, and it could have to do with judo too. But he's a big time. He's even got a black belt in judo, and his dad was Elio Gracie.
Wow. So, man, I mean, what Maynard likes about it is, he said, I'm watching the black belts, and it's chess game. And he said, with them, it's a half-inch differences, and you know this better than anybody.
Millimeters, man.
Yeah, and it's 6 steps ahead. How?
Dude,
I want to get to that level.
On the Maynard podcast, they were talking. Do you know who John Danaher is?
Yeah.
They were talking about Danaher, and Rogan went off on this deal about Danaher cornering people, and how, like, sometimes in the corner, people are saying the stupidest shit, like the coaches, and Danaher is just going to be like, your left hand needs to be higher, chin tucked, shoulders raised. When he throws the left hook, you will duck under it, and then you will do the single. If the single does not work, you will do the double. And then he's like,
do the double.
Like, here is water, drink. Just like, dude, Danaher is out there like a planet, bro. And what's crazy to me, I've got a background, a humble background in philosophy. I got to take I think 27 hours with the same professor who's trained with some of the greatest logicians and philosophers, Dr. Bush.
Oh, I know him.
Now retired, yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Charlie P.
Oh man, I love Charlie Bush.
I want to have him on the podcast.
Knife instructor.
Yeah.
I used to go to Tech for a couple semesters. Yeah. He was fantastic. I asked him what was the secret to killing with a knife. He said one word: up.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He goes, everybody thinks this.
No,
it's not
up.
a thing.
It's not a thing. Up.
Yeah. I saw him at the coffee house where I was just at before we did the podcast the other day, and he was like, hey, if I can ever help you with anything, let me know. I was like, yeah, you can be on my podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I gotta have him.
I watched that one.
He's been ratired for 2 or 3 years
fantastic,
now. Man, I had him for 2 ethics classes, logic, of course, intro to philosophy, then philosophy, religion, modern philosophy, ancient philosophy. I mean, I had a spectrum. Like
proof of the existence of God.
People,
wow.
Yeah, he has 9 proofs for the existence of God.
Ex nihilo nihil fit.
Yeah, I'm about to hit on the scientific revolution, and I'm going to do this big thing. I'm going to hit Machiavelli, Erasmus, and like Voltaire, leading into the Enlightenment here pretty soon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but hey,
love Voltaire.
So have you seen that new? Do you have HBO?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan.
Oh yeah, man, I'm caught up.
Love this shit.
We can talk it. I know.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I want to. If you have any interesting theories on anything to do with Game of Thrones, we can do episodes on that. Colby and I did a Game of Thrones theories episode, but we ended up talking about everything and Game of Thrones for like 10 minutes. Kinda not what we're doing now. We pretty much kept the central narrative around Maynard.
I'm trying.
Nah, but man, this is how conversation works.
I'm sorry, it just does.
And I think people understand that. I think that like a lot of times people get in here and like we get hung up and it's like, oh, I made a mistake or I combined these two. But man, that's human nature. I don't sweat it. Like I really haven't noticed getting a ton of comments on my YouTube videos or anything. And I'm still going back and kind of beefing up my tags and descriptions. And I've got a custom. Have you seen the thumbnails?
Oh yeah,
I'm doing?
They're fantastic.
Yeah,
I like those.
And I got to go back and throw some thumbnails and some of my early episodes and highlighting the ones that are audio only. I'm working on getting an animated logo made, and man, things are going to change with the podcast. I'll get better at doing it, but I still don't think you can't get better at. I can get better at guiding or steering a conversation in certain ways over time, I assume. But man, conversation is, it's all over the place. I feel like it's a bunch of wires going together, like there's a lot of central threads. We're both on each end. It's like 10 telephone games going on at once,
Yeah. Like I said, I made notes and, we didn't even touch them because I've just had so many other more interesting things.
Well, man, it's good to get to sound and catch up with you, dude.
Yeah, it is.
The podcast ain't going anywhere either.
Exactly. I'm just so much happier with what we've talked about. I was even going to talk about Joe Rogan's Taekwondo kicks.
Yeah, dude, which are sick as fuck.
Aren't they amazing?
Dude, his spinning side kick and spinning back kick.
A revelation.
Oh, man. That's so when Danaher came on his podcast, and Danaher made a little post about it, like they were working and Danaher's not just a jiu-jitsu guy. Danaher coaches and corner. I mean, he just cornered GSP in his fight. So, but man, listen, Joe Rogan say all that shit was so funny because he was doing it in like that, like, because Danaher is from New Zealand. And this dude never wears anything but a rash guard and he wears a fanny pack.
Of course he does.
Do you wear a fanny pack?
I'm not a fanny pack guy.
I'm getting a fanny pack.
You're getting one?
I'm gonna show you the one I'm getting.
God bless you.
I'm actually gonna get a hot, because dude, I'm just to the point, like, I have a super hot wife, and
so why not?
And she's not gonna leave me if I get a fanny pack. Well, I don't think. But
my girlfriend would leave me over a fanny pack, I think.
It's
maybe
possible.
Not.
It's
I
possible.
don't know.
I'm still not sure.
I don't know. Have you seen a Utilikilt?
No.
Well, there's a
that
Google.
Looks sick.
A Utilikilt. So it's like, imagine here cargo shorts, but a kilt.
Bam, this is the one I'm going to get, dude. Like, you put a gun in it.
I hate how much I love that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, this is... But
don't get me liking that.
That's the basic. Got a couple little pouches on the front. So, yeah, higher primate fanny pack. And you can get You can get it in leather, too. It looks like this one even has a little seatbelt thing on it.
I swear to God, send me the link.
Yeah.
Text me that shit. I'm going to get one.
Rogan just gave Danaher one on the podcast. He's like, hey, man, you like fanny packs. Here's a higher primate fanny pack. And then they told this funny-ass story about Gordon Ryan getting a fanny pack from Gucci. It's one of Danaher's jiu-jitsu students.
Oh, my God.
And he's like... oh, yeah, I'm just going to kill him and say his brother did it and take the fanny pack for myself. But, yeah, John Danaher is out there like a planet. And Maynard and Hickson were talking about him on that. I think it's like episode 246. It's super old. And then I think Maynard was on episode 410, which I don't think I've seen. And then he was on recently, like in the new studio, I believe, or he was like one of the last ones before they just moved to a new studio. Dude, someday I want to get an offsite studio from where we're at right now. Just like all I do is, this one's fine. I'm going to do some other stuff to this wall. I'm going to probably get some more cameras. That I would like to get a camera on you and a camera on me, but I feel like we're almost going to need.
Offtakes?
Yeah, I feel like we're almost going to need another person in here doing stuff.
Producer boy.
Yeah, which, maybe I can, like Joe Rogan I think he hooked up with young Jamie from like as an intern from university or something.
Yeah.
So this is just a humble beginnings, man.
It's a fantastic beginning. Man, I thought that you were doing this at some studio, not here.
Well, good. Yeah, because on YouTube you just get a glimpse into the table. So it's been great, man, and I'm looking forward to growing it. And I'm going to tell you, like, nobody steal my fucking idea here. I've told 2 people this on the podcast already, but my long-term like vision or goal outside of my own brand with podcasting is I would love to convince like the AMP or Verizon to set up a studio in which I come in after doing 500 episodes of Life Unraveled, and they have me interview any talent they have come through. They start their own. Like, there's no way that doesn't make money. There's no way I don't sit down with Joe Bonamassa, who I just saw at Verizon, and that shit don't go viral, and I think that a lot of like arenas and stuff, like they could be making more profit, through things other than concessions and ticket sales and things of that nature, if they were doing more stuff like that. I don't know of hardly any podcast in this region.
Well, I've done a lot of interviews. You've got the interview chops. You could do it, man.
Well, thank you. And I'm just humble about it. I don't know. I'm not classically trained, I guess you could say.
That being humble is a rarity these days. Oh my God.
It is, dude.
The world is upside down right now, man.
Yeah, and man, I've been having like all of these entrepreneurs I study are going back and forth on failure and success, and it's like you look at people that have just been mostly like Elon Musk is like, yeah, you can learn from your failures, but given the chance, I'd rather learn from my successes. And so I get that, but then like Gary Vaynerchuk, he's motivational guy. He's made all of his money in wine, actually, and now he's a big media, has his own media firm. But he's like always talking about how failing and people doubting him like pushed him to become, I think he's about to be a billionaire if he's not already, and just self-made. His parents are like Jewish immigrants from the Soviet Union, so he remembers times when they had nothing, and then he made millions selling wine online, like in the early internet, like right in 1999.
That's great. Yeah.
But he's always talking about failure. Learn from your failures. And I think it's a balance of both, right? There's no way, like Maynard talks about figuring out how to do his vineyard and jacking his grapes up, and there's no way that you don't encounter failure. And like for example, Cora, she's a perfectionist. Like, she hates failure, and I don't. I'm going to fail. It does not bother me. It does. It's weird. It's a weird balance. It bothers me, but to the point that's like I told you driving to the coffee house this morning, I'm like, how could I ever be satisfied with what I'm doing right now? You know, it's like I'm always pushing forward, and like failure motivates me, because then I'll sit down and be like, why did that fail? And then it's not like I dwell on it to the point that I can't exist or I get depressed.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just think about what I could have done differently more than anything. And some people deal with it other ways. They're like, I'm a failure. This has negative to do with me as a person. I can't succeed, you know, or I can't get along with people, or whatever the reason. People start spinning failures, I think, into these other directions. I've told a lot of people this. I feel like you probably maybe will identify this. At any given point, I think people feel like they are different and special. Right. Particularly when you're growing up, you see that you're unique from a lot of other individuals and so on. And it's at some point, like, the world just screws you enough that you stop believing that for whatever reason, whether it's failures, whether it's regret, whether it's like Rob and I yesterday on the podcast, we're talking about how people deal with regret. And it could be anything. It could be like a death in the family, and it just rocks your whole existence, and then you stop thinking you're special, right? But I think everybody is, and I think it's like the world that kind of gets them down, or failures that get them down. So I think it's super important, like success and failure, like a yin and a yang for me, you know? Like I'm always balancing the two concepts. Like I can't have one without the other, I feel. You know, I would rather just have success, like Elon Musk is saying, and I would rather not have only failures in which I'm learning from and receiving successes. I would like, but I'll say this, like another thing I've picked up on is, and I don't think creatively speaking is some of the things we've talked about you could pull off, is just kind of like Maynard saying, not getting logistically in your own way. Like a lot of times I fail because poor planning, or like trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, like I'm like you were saying, like the best songs you've probably ever written were just turnkey, like not forced, not anything. So there's a balance there too, in like setting up creative processes to succeed, and not dwelling on your failures, but learning. I mean, it's just I'm fascinated by it. I've been thinking about this more and more and more, because I'm just in that time where it's like I've made a lot of mistakes in my 20s. I'm gonna make more mistakes in my 30s. I would like to make fewer mistakes every 10 years we go forward. And
pay attention to the fact that every day of your life, comfort becomes more of a priority. So be aware of that. That's coming too.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I'll say this, like, I am getting more stringent with my time, and like, I don't have any kids, you know? So like, that's another thing. It allows me to do a lot more than I would do. And I'm a lot willing to spend my time in ways that, you know, or like I consider an investment in the future or what have you. And like burning up the roads on the weekends, coaching all the time, cornering fights all the time. But, you know, it's not like I'm going to stop doing that, but I'm trying to build it up to where I can, like, you know, hey, well, I got another guy right now. This comes on, does an MMA Unraveled show with me about once a week. Like we've done 4, I think. And he's running a class on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. You know, I got a guy that he's a no-gi enthusiast. He's teaching my no-gi classes in the evenings about half the time. We've got a judo instructor. So we got a whole bunch of ways to sort of balance things out, so I can do more or less, or be more involved or less involved. It's crazy how like early on I used to think like, I'm like, no, it's my business and I will run everything. I will be here every day. I will be here at 5:30 a.m. I will leave here at 9:30 p.m. And that dude, it was that way for over 5 years. Like I was first one there, last one to leave. And I would come and go throughout the day, but like, as you're like what you're saying, the older I got, the more I'm just like, well, I'm going to be a little more intelligent. Now I teach morning classes 2 days a week. Mm-hmm. I'm there. I do some privates and stuff, but I mean, man, I get to be a little more picky and choosy with how I spend my time as I get deeper into owning a business and building up a team and building up leaders, and which is one of the hardest things to do. Like, talk about a band getting along. You know, it's like, you know, my Cora and I, we own the gym, but there's a lot of other people that we work with and depend on and rely on, and it's you know, I kind of empathize with the band dynamic, because a lot of businesses, like Elon Musk, for example, he has all these interns and all these people working for him, and they kind of drive his innovation in a big way. He's like, hey, yeah, you guys go figure out ideas for this. Here's my idea. You know, just got people on staff.
And then he's got to move on.
Yeah.
Same way with the band. Same way with any business. You have to look at everything almost as a business.
Yeah, and you can't spend an inordinate amount of time on things that, like, you know, I've been working on a lot of different ideas for years, and they're still coming together. You know, and like, I can't spend tons of time on them right now, but I'm proportionating that out. And it's like, in the long run, that's why I like the idea of building an archive. Like, I've really been focused on YouTube. And I think that's like bands that aren't doing that in this digital age that we discussed. That's like what I love about Maynard and Tool and stuff. You can go on YouTube and just go down a rabbit hole. But you know, and you could do the same with their music. But speaking of which, Tool's music videos, holy shit. So do you know Adam Jones? He did all the claymation and stuff.
All right, yeah.
But he designed the mask for like the Predators 2 movie.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and worked on the very first Jurassic Park designing dinosaurs.
That's awesome. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was his original, and like I knew that he was involved with the Tool music videos, but I'm fascinated by Adam Jones.
Which Kurt Cobain believed were a blatant ripoff of this other band. I forget the name. So that's worth looking up sometime.
Yeah, I was just reading, so like the Pumpkins are going on like this reunion tour.
Oh, God.
And actually they're coming to Oklahoma City here pretty soon. But yeah, so James Eha from A Perfect Circle is going on the reunion tour.
He is?
Yes.
Wow.
So everybody, the original band is back together, lest Darcy Retzky, the female bass player.
Oh, right.
From the original
Darcy,
Pumpkins on up. But James Eha is and Billy Corgan. So, but we were talking about Billy Howardell. Like, so he's this kind of... Maynard formed the Perfect Circle with him, James Eha.
Yeah, well, I mean, him and Billy are kind of the core.
Yeah.
Of a Perfect Circle, have been forever, as far as I know.
Did Eha work with them on all their albums? So it was 13th Step, Marydanomes was first, then 13th Step, and then Emotive, which that's the one with the barbershop song. Like, I remember
barbershop song.
That's what like, dude, you're like, listen to this barbershop quartet.
Yeah. It was just acapella heaven.
Yeah, what is the name of that song? I'm spacing on it right now.
I am too, man.
The something to drum.
Oh my God.
Dude, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Oh man, yeah, but
so is it fiddle and
the fiddle and drum? Yeah. Right, I think it is.
Yeah.
Emotive. Well, I wonder what emotive means.
Well,
arousing or able to arouse intense feeling.
Gee,
emotive. Let's see.
That was a remix of that album too.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that all covers? Was Emotive an all covers album?
No. There was Emotive, and then there was, well, maybe
primarily a collection of anti-war cover songs. Primarily, but not. There were some originals.
Yes, that's right. Because there was the
Imagine all the people.
Wasn't there also the Al Green?
Let's see. I'll just read the track list. We got Annihilation, Imagine. That's a Crucifix cover. Imagine by John Lennon. What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, Nick Lowe cover.
What am I thinking of, man? You're going to read it off in
What's Going On?
What's Going On?
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
Dude, I love that. I didn't even know that was on there. I got super into Marvin Gaye after
Marvin
this.
Gaye. Yeah, that was it. I can't believe I said that.
Dad shot him in the fucking face, bro.
I can't believe I said that. Oh, man, that is pathetic.
Marvin Gaye's dad murdered him.
Yes, I do know that. Yes.
Because he was on heroin.
Yes, that's true.
Crazy. Passive.
No, all right. Now, see, I've got that wrote down because I was going to tell you
passive. You told me about that song. Passive aggressive bullshit.
Okay, I covered that song like 20 times. I played it like every show. My favorite Tool song ever is a song called H.
Yes, I want to say they played that in Little Rock.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up the Little Rock track listing so I can kind of just see what you think about it.
Okay. So. H. That song put me in a state of like love. Okay, you know, it's got all these buttery tones, and like it's just peppered with good memories. Everything about that song was just so great. First time I heard my old guitarist Tyler Hickman, he's like, "This is my dad's favorite song," and he showed it to me, and I just fell in love with that song. And it will always be.
Play H, actually.
That sucks. That's my favorite song.
I was thinking they
but
did.
No, Passive. You know, it's got the Trent Reznor collaboration with vocals.
Yes,
in it, and it's so ahead of its time. It's so ahead of its time. I will always believe that it's still not when that song should come out. We haven't got there yet for Passive.
Well, and maybe like that's what you're saying about Puscifer is like it's like maybe that'll be what concerts are in 50, 100 years. You know, this mixture, eclectic. Like it won't just be like a 4 or 5 piece band getting up there on the stage doing the same old shit.
I've only ever heard 2 songs that I believe are written from the future, like not from this time, from the future, and that. Oh God! Of course I'm gonna. Emotion Sickness by Silverchair.
Ooh, dude,
is from the future. I fully believe that is from the future, and I believe Passive was from the future. I mean, I know that's crazy thinking, but I just think we're not ready.
Well, no, I mean, yeah,
like
that's. I joked with Rob yesterday. I've been joking about this with some people. Anybody that's like, I would just say like a content creator.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, hey, you know, maybe nobody gives a shit right now, but maybe you won't be appreciated in your own time.
Yeah, you know,
like maybe in 50 years, people are gonna love the shit out of this.
Puscifer, my favorite song is "Mama Said." And because it's got them Mila Jovovich vocals.
He did do something with Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
I was reading about that. Yeah, you remember her in Fifth Element?
Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass. Big bada boom. Yeah, I love Mila. And
she trains jiu-jitsu at Danny Anderson, who's actually from our area. Mike and everybody knows him. He went to school in New York.
God, really?
Yeah, she does jiu-jitsu with him. I want to say she might even be a black belt. And back in the day, she'd either dated or married John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers in the 90s.
See, this is that 6 degrees of separation shit that just scares me to death, man. That's just like everybody.
That's like with Hickson, man.
The Hickson,
the stuff
that's what I was
that put
thinking
me in
about
that
earlier.
room that led to that situation, and then me being out there when he got promoted. Like, what are the fucking odds?
No, my buddy called me the other day. Like, well, no, shit, not the other day. It was last year. Does that happen to you? Like the
All
other
the
day?
time. Yeah.
4 years ago. Yeah, no, this was last year. My buddy was working. He's like, dude, Maynard's here. I'm like, where? He's like, yeah, at this barbecue place I'm working at. He's like, Maynard's here. You want to say hi? I was like, just don't. But he was eating barbecue in like Conway. He was just driving through.
Wow. That's insane, dude.
But I mean, like I said, it's just always, I mean, it's a small world, you know?
Indeed.
But yeah, collaboration with Maynard, Deftones, Passenger. Yeah. As a singer, it's not possible what he did. That tonality, Jesus.
Have you ever seen him do that? I forget what Rage Against the Machine song it is, but on an early tour of Maynard. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got no patience now.
Yes. Yeah, man. Maynard kills it on that, dude. I love that video.
Know Your Enemy.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so the classic. Audience can look it up. You need to go down the Maynard rabbit hole.
Oh,
There's a funny video I saw of like all of Maynard's mess ups on stage, and he'll be like singing, he'll be like, "Hey," you know, like something like that. And
so he is human.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's that. Well, and too, listening to him talk, you see that he is, but also you see that he is so much more than the average bro. You know.
Well, you know, he didn't want to do another Perfect Circle tour because he said, you know, when we recorded this, I was younger and I was hitting notes I could hit, and he's like, that's why Puscifer is in my lower register. And sometimes I wonder that's why he doesn't go back and do a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's because that's it. I feel like
he said I went into rehearsal with a Perfect Circle, and he said we started doing I think it was Judith, and he's like, oh shit. Imagine
if Maynard would have started playing with Tool instead of going in the military. If Tool would have got an earlier jump, you know, because I mean that was it. He's in his mid to late 20s by the time he is a successful musician. And
maybe it wouldn't have worked. Who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, so Tool just kills it all throughout the 90s. So it's like 15-year period, 1990ish, late 80s, early 90s into 2006.
What if Tool would have came out in the 80s?
Yeah.
What if they'd have been wearing keyboard neckties?
I invented the keyboard. How dare you?
How dare you?
Oh man, Fiddle and the Drum, John
Fiddle and the
Mitchell
Drum.
cover. When the
Yes.
Levee Breaks, Memphis Minnie. Counting Bodies Like Sheep to the Rhythm of War Drums, Howard
That was-
Allen Keenan.
Yeah, that was Perfect Circle song.
Yeah. Okay, Give Me, Black Flag. I've been getting super into Henry Rollins, dude. That guy is super interesting.
He's on another plane.
Yeah, if you haven't seen, he did a JRE, and it's super good.
You know, Mel Gibson did a JRE.
Yeah, all they talked about was
Stem cell research, and it's awesome.
mesochemical stem cells are a certain type, like the intravenous kind. You can only
Adult
get-
stem cell from the navel cord.
Yeah.
I'm
Fascinating stuff.
very into that. Now, I mean, that's controversial.
Blood, bitches, and stem cells. It's what we do here.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
You're-
Have you ever
you're
seen
talking my stuff,
the
man.
old Family Guy episode where Peter has the heart attack and his face is like there, and then
That
he goes and gets
depressed
stem
me.
cells. He comes out and he's like, "Why isn't this stuff legal?"
Yeah, it scares me, man. That show is awful.
Oh, I know.
But
They were talking about the Kevin Spacey shit in like 08 or something. You know.
wow. I
Yeah.
try to avoid that show sometimes because I'm just like, it's dark, but
Indeed.
it's so true.
Indeed.
Because
Well,
Seth, he goes there.
Yeah.
He'll just go
He
there.
ain't fucked up about it.
No.
And I think that's a complex dude. I love, like some of these be like directors. I mean, directors are some interesting, like Martin Scorsese. Imagine how complex of an individual Martin Scorsese is. He's got to be like the Maynard of film.
Scorsese. Yeah.
Or Hitchcock.
Don't get me started. I mean, he makes some of the best stuff. Like,
He sees
I don't
it
want
in
to
a
get
different
started on
way.
Taxi Driver, but Taxi Driver changed my life, man.
Oh, dude, let me tell you a
But-
quick weird story about Taxi Driver. So the guy, who was it that shot Ronald Reagan? Hinckley?
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
think. I don't wanna
I think
say
it was,
wrong.
yeah, some dude with 3 names, if I'm not.
Yeah. Don't they all have 3
anyway,
names?
so he just got out of prison, actually. So, okay, Taxi Driver inspired this guy that shot Ronald Reagan to shoot Ronald Reagan. And this guy also stalked Jodie Foster. Yeah, there's a crazy story. Who shot Ronald Reagan? John Hinckley Jr.
That was it. That's it. That's
Okay.
right.
But the crazy thing is he was inspired by Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. Let's see. So on his Wikipedia, obsession with Jodie Foster. Hinckley became obsessed with Jodie Foster, became obsessed with the 76 film Taxi Driver. Disturbed protagonist, wants to assassinate a presidential candidate. That's what that dude was inspired by, that movie. And then Hinckley developed infatuation with actress Jodie Foster, who played a child prostitute in that film. When Foster entered Yale University, Hinckley moved to New Haven, Connecticut for a short time to stalk her. He enrolled in Yale writing class, began slipping poems and messages under Foster's door, and repeatedly called her. Failing to develop any meaningful contact with the actress, Hinckley fantasized about conducting an aircraft hijacking or committing suicide in front of her to get her attention.
Jesus.
Eventually, he settled on a scheme to impress her by assassinating the president. Holy shit, dude. Like, this is how people work. It's like, yeah, man, what the hell?
I mean, the 70s, though. It's the 70s. Oh, man. This guy was on
76, yeah.
Conan O'Brien the other day talking about how he created a character based just on how 70s people ate in Scorsese films.
Wow.
Worth a look up, because
Yeah.
if you, again, like I said, I'm finally talking to someone my age here that will know about this, but just how they threw the fries in their mouth, like dip it.
Yeah,
do it the fries in their mouth, throw the fries in their mouth. I can't think of his name. He does the Netflix show Big Mouth.
What's his
Can't think of his
name?
name.
Jesus H. Why am I spacing on? In Departed.
Departed, fantastic.
Yeah, how Jack Nicholson is eating the shrimp
Yeah,
when he's talking. When he first meets Lena,
yeah.
dips it in the
Dips it. Yeah,
yeah, or how
Yeah,
he throws the
Scorsese.
cocaine. Everything is like very has a lot of gestures.
That's what it was. That's what it was, man. That's
He's there's a funny quote in that scene. He's like, you know John Lennon, and he's like, he was an artist. He said, give me a tuba and I'll fucking get you something out of it. But yeah, funny. I love that movie, dude. That's my favorite Scorsese film, definitely.
I don't, like I said, people who haven't seen it, I mean, but just all of a sudden, just the what?
Yeah.
What? What's just a
Oh, I like how on Departed, how he does a lot of like the rat hole cinematography. It's all about the rat.
Oh, dude.
You know, so like he'll zoom in onto or close out with the circle.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, like I said, I guess I need to not make gestures because this is a podcast.
Yeah,
but
you can watch it on YouTube too.
The gunshot, the gunshot that, the quick gunshot.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened to that character. My God.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, any more high points you want to hit on Maynard, man?
I'll just say this, man. A dark bit of knowledge that I've come across over the years is that I'm not sure that people change, but I know that people can make changes. And that's my little deep thought. And music, I believe, with all my heart, is the last form of magic on this earth because it can affect you without touching you, without seeing it. It can change the way you feel. It can change your heart. It can literally move your soul.
Well, it's almost like an oral tradition, I mean,
it's such a powerful element.
Some people say martial arts is one of the last great oral traditions still in existence.
Exactly. And I see them so similar.
Yeah.
I've always seen, martial arts and music and dance. Man, there is no difference. It's all the same.
I've been lecturing about humanism.
Yeah.
Fascinating concept.
The
study of like the transition from people starting to think about the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And how we're talking about individuals and an individual. We're doing a podcast over an individual. So, but like that wasn't a way of thinking for like 1,500 years. So,
if there's 3 new songs on the new Perfect Circle album, and 2 of them, The Doomed and Talk, both very biblical. Talk, it says, everyone talks like Jesus, but nobody walks like Jesus. I know it's a pretty basic message, but it's still cool. Now, The Doomed is like Maynard's own take on the Beatitudes. Like the meek shall inherit the earth. What he's saying is the meek are doomed in today's society. It's cool, Maynard's perspective, right? But he's got this song, and it's the one that I want to give your listeners some homework. I'm not going to even tell you what it's about, but it's called Disillusioned. It is such a personal song for everybody.
So is Eat the Elephant out? Their new album?
Pre-order.
Okay, pre-order.
It's pre-order. I've got the information.
October 13th, 2017. I'm trying to see. I've got...
Right.
Yeah, okay. On January 1st, 2018, another song titled Disillusioned was released.
Okay, its release date is April 20th.
Hey, this is my birthday.
There you go.
Yeah. Sweet. Yep. So they're playing in Dallas 4 days after that. So
right now you can listen to Disillusioned. I'm just telling you, it's a personal for everybody, and it just reminds you that everyone is a unique voice in this choir. Everyone, and none of us are alone. It's a very powerful, very, very powerful song. It broke me in half. It destroyed me. It's the first time a song has brought me to tears in so long.
Dude, look at this artwork beautiful on the cover.
I know, and it's so dark. It's so dark.
Dude,
it's so fantastic.
Like a crazy octopus.
Eat the Elephant.
What is that? Is there a story behind that title, or
I don't know.
I'm trying to look around and see. There's a whole page up about it on Wikipedia. So that's what Colby was saying. He's saying that a lot of fans are saying that the songs that are on this album, Tool fans are saying those should have been Tool songs.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you looked at it, like it's been longer since it was 2004 when Emotive came out. Was that 2004?
Was it?
I think
I've drank since then, bro.
Let me see. They haven't had an album come out in like 14 years or something.
It's been 14 years.
It's only been like 12 for Tool.
Yeah.
The
Tool album, I got a hold of it.
06. It was when I was...
06. Yeah, that's right.
I graduated. So
that's right.
Band entered a hiatus in 05. A Perfect Circle.
Oh my God. So I cannot believe that.
Yeah. So that album we're talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Emotive, that came out in 04, dude. November 2nd, 2004.
In my head, it just seemed opposite for some reason. But you're right, the Tool album came out afterwards.
I thought it came out later, but yeah.
I did too. It did. It came out, the Tool album came out in 06 because I remember I was getting out of college early. And I remember I was late for a class, and it was for a music class, and the professor said, "Where you been?" I was like, "Ma'am,
buying this."
I said, "The Tool album came out. Just don't judge me. Don't judge me." I've been in a state of torpor. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Have you ever heard of lacrimonics?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly.
And I said, "Lacrimosa." She's like, "Yeah, it means crying." I said, "Tool is a band." She's like, "I know." I was like, "Well, their music doesn't have a beat, really. It's all these off beats. You can't tap your foot to it because it's
rhythm,
the art of crying." Lacrimosa, lacrimonics. When a person cries, they go lacrimonics.
It does have kind of like a stutter step to it.
Exactly.
Like that's what I was saying about Danny Carey's drumming. Like everybody knows it. That's another reason I think that Little Rock show might have suffered is because 4 days earlier they almost canceled this Aftershock show that they were going to do like a big arena show at a festival that they were headlining because Danny Carey had a staph infection, like a horrible ass staph infection, and he did like this mediocre like Kyle Southall's any drum solo I've ever seen him do was better than that. Danny, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like a I'm like, dude, you're fucking Danny Carey, and you played that?
Yeah.
Like that was like I left and I'm like, didn't see Maynard. Same exact production of all the shows I've watched on YouTube since they came out with their last album. He's wearing the same clothes, same everything, and Danny Carey rolls out with this mediocre drum solo.
That's crazy, man.
But he had staff. So
when I saw them, it was the Lateralis, and there was 2 naked contortionists hanging from the ceiling, upside down, wiggling like worms on a fish hook. You know, the ones that walked around and Schism, you know, they're upside down. And during Parabola and Parable, you know, and becomes Parabola, they're spinning around. They grab each other. Dude gets a little excited. It was crazy. It was a big night, you know.
Let's see. Here's the set list from Little Rock when I saw him. Third Eye, Grudge, Parable, Parabola, Schism, Opiate, Inema, Descending. That's that newer one. Jambi. I didn't think they played Jambi.
That song.
46 and 2. Then they played Sweat, Ions, and Stinkfist was the encore. And that was a different encore they'd done because this was like the Halloween show.
That's not many songs.
It's 13 total plus Ions. Let's see. They didn't play Vicarious. I was kind of sad about that. You know, they didn't play. I mean, they didn't play Lateralis. There's a lot of songs I would have loved to, you know, heard him play, like Ride in 2 maybe. You know,
right.
I mean, this.
Yeah,
They played like all of those are hits.
I just wish that when bands came to Arkansas, they didn't do that, and that happens so much when bands come to Arkansas.
Well, see, what is cool is this is the same set list. Essentially, they played on this whole little tour they did.
Oh, really?
But they played a couple of songs different because it was like Halloween night or something. So like they actually gave us more. But I was still, I'm just being ungrateful.
You shouldn't, I mean, you know, but you shouldn't be left wanting at a Tool show.
I know, right?
Ever.
Well, and it's just like, I was just left wanting as a fan for more, for something new, you know?
That is disappointing.
Yeah. So, well,
the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
I will leave you with a poem if you don't mind.
Yeah, by all means, man.
Because Maynard left Joe Rogan with a poem, if you saw that.
Oh, you know, are you talking about the Chief Tecumseh?
You've heard this?
Oh man, so good. Yeah, go ahead.
Has anyone read this on your show?
No. By all means, go ahead though. That's such a good poem. When he read it, I'll tell you a funny joke after you read it too about him reading it. So.
Oh well, if everyone's heard it, that's fine.
No. But so like somebody recently read me this thing. And they're like, hey, you know, here's this thing called the Code of Honor.
Yeah.
And they read it and it was eloquent and poetic.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And then I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
And he's like, L. Ron Hubbard. And I was like,
nah, dude. Oh, whatever.
but then Maynard jokes about this poem. Because Joe Rogan was he's like, who is that? And he's like, oh, what, you afraid I'm going to tell you it's L. Ron Hubbard or something? I was like, that just happened to me. That literally just happened to me like 2 weeks ago, dude.
It's good.
So, and yesterday on the podcast, I didn't complete this thought, but I started off talking about I just recently met the first Scientologist ever, and they're super, so we were talking about drugs yesterday too. Apparently we talk about drugs on the podcast a lot. But they were talking about how they'll drink, but they won't, like Scientologists will not do drugs. They have this saying about clarity.
Yeah.
They're all about that mental clarity and not forgetting things. And like Rob was saying the same thing. He's like, dude, I just want my mental clarity. And I feel like if I did psychoactive drugs, I would lose that. Like kind of you had an interesting view on drug usage that I hadn't really thought about. Like with people like that are already creative and are not creative. And
I don't know what to say about it. You know, I mean, I know what I can and what I can't do. And I know what, I can only say so much because I know what works like a charm on me. And I know what I am allowed and not allowed to say. So I know that people in my mental condition can only do certain things. And then I know that everyone is a different creature that can use different things. So my views are different than most. And I certainly don't judge anybody. People have to do what they have to do. I just know what I've learned. And I know what I've learned from a lot of musicians. And I know what I've learned from a lot of artists. And it's, I think it's sad that when a lot of naturally creative people lose their creativity, and I'm going to get roasted for it, I know, but I don't ever want to lose it with something completely pharmaceutical, you know?
yeah.
And I'm so scared of that because, I mean, I'm here to tell you, I mean, like I said, I've been in a rock band a long time. I've tried everything under the sun, and that's just part of it. I mean, sadly.
It is. It is part of the lifestyle. And I mean, that is, I think, even going further, is part of the human experience.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a friend of mine who's tried everything too, telling me, he's like, and I don't really fully agree. I kind of do to an extent, but he's like, why would you want to leave this world not having, and there's two sides to this. So like, he was talking about more of like, experiences that aren't necessarily going to harm you, but he's like, why would you want to leave this world not having experienced as many things as you could? You know, so I think he was talking about like mushrooms or something.
All right. I mean, I just know that what I was born with does not mix well with what is out there. Not very good. So everyone has to be careful and don't get themselves killed and don't get addicted.
Yeah, indeed. Addiction is a horrible,
you know, and it's,
that's the thing. It's like, that's, so like apparently maybe the whole, Keith Richards thing is that he does the blood transfusions to not have withdrawal.
You know,
so that's,
I think every rock star in the world probably is on, at that age is, you know, they're on dialysis, you know, their liver's pickled.
Yeah.
You know, you can't drink that much and not have a pickled liver or a liver transplant, but that dude can afford anything.
Yeah, you get to the point where you just have the resources to either eat the way you want or whatever.
Anything.
But yeah, no, you want to read that poem? Because no one's read it on the podcast, so by all means, I mean, they can go watch it on Joe Rogan, but it's a great poem, and I took a class on History of the Frontier that I absolutely loved, and that is a very very powerful poem. So we can go ahead and close
my dad loved it a lot, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you knew about it before.
My dad showed it to me. So, and then when I heard Maynard read it to Joe, I was like, you know, I'll
that's a cool connection.
I'll pass it on to the Brian Wilson experience. So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion. Respect others in their view and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger when in a lonely place. Show respect to all people and grovel to none. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with the fear of death, so that when your time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home. Chief Tecumseh.
Sing your death song. That's powerful.
That's
man.
powerful stuff, isn't it?
Goosebumps.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're wanting to listen to the, we mentioned some interviews, and I think it's episode 246 on the JRE where he reads that. Man, they had a super shitty studio back then. It was making me feel super good. There's all these weird lighting issues. Sometimes I get a little that's why I have my little cover up here, but occasionally I get a little thing, and you can't even notice it on like a small device, but I'm like there I couldn't, like, and they were doing this weird split screen where it was blurred down the middle, but this has been, I mean, that was 5 or 6 years ago, but I'm definitely going to upgrade my equipment as it goes on. I'm trying to get to where I can do mobile too, like I'm getting a digital recorder and stuff like that. So anyway, so thanks for coming on, bro.
My pleasure.
If you have any topics in mind that you want to do, whether it's on the Music Unraveled show or just in general,
dozens,
a history, like I said, we can bring you back on the conspiracy episode. If you have anything you're interested in, so like I said, I'm trying to network with people that are passionate about shit. I'm passionate about podcasting. You're passionate about Maynard. I love to sit down and just hear, like, that's, like I said, you hearing you talk about him 10 years ago or however, like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Is like what got me more interested.
You just got to keep an open mind to new music, and it's a learning experience.
And Tool is they're like, I've said high art a few times on this podcast, but they're like a higher form of art. Like they're not. I don't think they're for everybody.
No, they're not. I've learned that. A lot of the younger generation now, I try to get them to listen to Tool. They're like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Child, stop! Damn kids, kids." Yeah, force choke because you can't touch them.
Yeah,
can't touch these kids. Oh God.
Also,
But yeah, man. I mean, they don't get it.
If you want to just come back and talk Star Wars anytime, I got several people. Like I did my first podcast on The Last Jedi, and Dr. Jesse Weiss came over. He's a sociology professor at U of O, and then I've had like a couple of people be like, "Yeah, well, that guy had some good points, but I've got some points too." And I'm like, come on, man.
They gave that dude his own trilogy. And it's, and now they gave the Game of Thrones writers and producers their own trilogy.
Yeah.
So there's basically kind of like the Marvel universe. There's going to be, which is going to be coming out until 2040.
Wow.
So now there's going to be Star Wars coming out until
Isn't
about
it
the same
cool
time.
how they're just kind of like big comic runs that have been going on since like World War II? They're doing that in cinema.
I want to be dead after Star Wars is done. I don't want to die.
Yeah, I can't die not having seen a few of them. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for we were talking Kenobi trilogy. We're probably talking a Han Solo trilogy. I'm interested to see the spinoffs. And if they go beyond this current trilogy with Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and whatever the third movie is going to be called.
Here's the thing, dude. They're like, don't you want your kids to have it to look forward to after you die? No.
I want it all for me.
I want it for me, man. Damn. This is my stuff. This is my stuff.
We were talking about different things yesterday, and Star Wars came up, and Rob said something about Anakin, and because we're talking about the school shooting. He was talking about no one blamed the lightsaber when Anakin's because he said something about Anakin. And I was like, Hayden Christian Anakin or young Anakin?
Which Anakin?
Yeah.
Which Anakin?
Yeah. But the younger Anakin ended up, due to all this bullying and stuff from him being in Star Wars movies.
Yeah, he works at a mall now.
Yeah. Well, so he ended up going to like a psychiatric facility for a while, like maybe schizophrenic or something.
Poor dude.
I know, but it was probably because in his formative years before he developed his prefrontal cortex completely, he got picked on, bullied. I mean, it's just like, that's why whether you're doing drugs, growing up in Hollywood or whatever, you see like Elijah Wood is one of those only childhood stars that is not just totally fucked up.
Right. Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Macaulay.
Hain,
I mean, and I'm not talking shit about Macaulay Culkin. I don't think he's he's kind of fucked up, but he looks fucked up.
He looks like it, but I mean,
he kind of looks like that. He just looks like a bigger version of his childhood self. I made a funny Home Alone 2 joke yesterday on the podcast. I'll let you listen to Some Guy Named Rob podcast.
I look forward to that.
Credit card, you got it. Oh yeah, I've been slipping that in a totally appropriate place because it's we got phone scammed. And so they got our voice signatures.
Oh no!
And when I tell the story, I reference Home Alone 2, and the people that get it, they laugh.
Thank God.
Well, right on, brother. Let's we'll go ahead and sign off. And again, man, I look forward to having you back. It's great to sit down and catch up with you. We logged about 2.5 hours of greatness. I thought it went extremely well, man. And
Me too.
Thanks again for your time. Signing off.